Number two.
Number one. I don't know where to go. Number one. I don't know where to
It's another Netflix special.
go. Love ya. Number one. I don't know
Okay, I hear you.
where to go. Number one. Whoa, there's a loop. There's a loop happening. I don't like it. There's a loop happening.
It's another Netflix special. Okay, good. You can hear both of us. Let's turn that sound down. You can hear both of us, number one.
Number one. Make it so number one. Sorry, I got distracted.
This episode is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon, where you can go and listen to many podcasts, including this one. That's ARET.com? Media.com? Pantheon.com? I don't remember. I nailed it, though. I'm perfect. Are you ready or not? Come on. Stop showing us your forehead and let's look up at the camera and talk to the people.
I'm sending all of the stuff to the people.
I don't feel like doing that today, so I'm not gonna do that.
I did it. Big stretch.
There'd be like 3 places I have to send it to,
Big
and
stretch.
I'd have to. It's too much of a
Sip
pain.
of the old water.
Boom, boom, higher power.
Enjoying the sip of the old water. Okay. All right. Let's start the show in 3, 2, 1. This podcast is brought to you by the Arte Media Pantheon. Please head to artemedia.org to see all kinds of podcasts from our great friends. And if you would like to start your own podcast, they can provide you with the tools and resources to do so there. So please head to artemedia.org. That's ARETE media.org. Flawless intro, Jordan?
Oh yeah, definitely flawless. There's no flaws at all.
Totally flawless. Welcome to this Worthwhile Podcast, everybody. I am your host, as always. I am the one who prances in the night. I am
Francis? That's the word you thought of.
I am Justin Spurr, and as always, I'm joined by that interrupting cow himself.
Moo!
I'm joined by the incomparable Jordan.
Moo!
Interrupting.
Moo!
Like an interrupting cow. Such an interrupting cow. On today's show, we have news.
And I'm also here.
Jordan's also here. We have news, including there's a new Jonas Brothers movie, apparently. We asked the question, are we excited about this? Also, we're going to talk about trailers, including Marvel Zombies. There's stuff involving the Avengers. There's a Mars Attacks video game. There's a new Disney movie coming out, and more. And then later, there's a Netflix special with all kinds of Netflix stuff, including I watch K-pop Demon Hunters. I have to say K-pop Demon Hunters enough time so that the algorithm picks up the fact that we're talking about K-pop Demon Hunters.
K-pop Demon Hunters?
An incredibly popular movie. And
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Is algorithmically friendly to this video.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Part of your Broadway World podcast says, I'm very excited about the new Jonas Brothers Christmas movie.
Hey! Let's
That's
start. You know what?
That's a great segue. We should talk about that.
You know what? Before we do, actually, before we talk about that, I just remembered. But that is an excellent segue. Thank you, Haley. We have to do a very brief, very short comment response time because I can't believe I have to talk about this, Trent. I can't believe I have to address this. But we got called out in a comment on our video. Jack is so weird and oddly icky. Someone asked us, did we talk about the fart scene? And Jordan, we did not. We did not talk about the fart scene because I was so taken aback about every other weird thing in that movie. And also, someone on TikTok specifically asked for it. Like, legit. messaged me and went, "Can you upload the fart scene?" So I will do twofold. Thing number one, there's a scene in the movie in which Robin Williams, Jordan, and all the kids fart a bunch. Robin Williams farts into a can, and they all laugh. And then later on, Bill Cosby, when he's there, he also farts. They fart a bunch.
Okay, okay.
And also, here's the clip of them farting. For when this is a video later. Here's the clip. There we go. We've satisfied everybody.
That was so weird. Whoa, I can't believe that was a thing that was actually
farting.
made.
Oh my god, look at that happening. There we go. We did it. We talked about the... Jordan, do you feel fully satisfied now that we've talked about the fart scene?
Oh, so satisfied.
Jordan, I don't think we could have continued with the show
so satisfied
without talking about that fart scene.
That one scene in which a bunch of farting apparently
Jordan,
happened.
if I had a nickel for every time people wanted me to address the fart scene in that movie, I'd have 2 nickels. But it's weird it happened twice.
It's not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Anyway, there, I did it. Jonas Brothers.
No, Jonas Brothers. That looks fun.
That actually does look fun. I have to say though, that trailer is already dated. Because there's a joke where they're like, "Kevin, it's a shame we never heard you sing." We've now heard Kevin sing. I mean, technically, prior to that moment, we had heard him sing because he sang "I Left My Heart in Scandinavia" on Jonas. That's right. I'm just that much of a fan. But he sang officially as part of the Jonas Brothers. I don't know if you saw it. It was honestly pretty good. The song was pretty good.
I didn't realize that he didn't sing in any of their other songs. I thought they all sung.
No,
I thought that was the point, was that they were a trio of 3 brothers who sang together.
No, that was the whole thing, is he was the one who didn't sing. The other 2 have, like, solo albums and whatnot, and solo projects, not him. His solo project was making babies. Quite honestly, when we inevitably do the...
Part of your Broadway World podcast says, I saw them in concert a few weeks ago, so I'm very excited about this movie.
It definitely looks like it's sort of more...
It looks fun. It looks fun. It looks like your classic like Hallmark Christmas movie, but with the Jonas Brothers, which I'm not going to say that it doesn't look appealing. It looks like a fun Christmas movie.
It looks like a real solid reference to their show, or maybe it's a sequel to their show. It's remarkable. I did see someone say that they have gone through a bout of... it's really weird. I saw more people who were like, this reeks of desperation, than I did see people who were excited for it, which is surprising. Which, like, I'm not gonna say it doesn't reek of desperation. For the guys who were like so like anti-Disney, get away from Disney, for them to go running back to Disney when the PR is bad is a little funny. I
mean, I just more assume that Disney finally offered them the right amount of money to convince them to do it.
No, it's well, I say this with like I don't feel as quite as a way about this as like. But yeah, they all kind of went through like Nick Jonas did. We talked about. You remember how we talked about the last 5 years when Haley was on?
Yeah, I think so.
That's based on a musical, Broadway musical. Nick Jonas played the lead in that musical, and he was apparently terrible, like straight up awful.
I know the young one. I think the youngest one was in Les Mis.
Yeah, and he's also not very good in that either. But yeah, he got roasted for being really bad, and then Joe went through a whole divorce thing where it was a whole messy divorce kids thing, and so they were having some real bad PR there, and so I saw a lot of people who were like, they went back to Disney and they're doing all this like getting back together with Demi Lovato stuff because everyone hates them now, and I'm just like, all right, I thought that looked funny.
Part of your Broadway World podcast says, I mean, they're already coming back for Camp Rock 3, so they might as well have a Christmas movie.
So they say. I think it's probably going to be contingent on how well this performs, if I had to guess. I'm curious, though.
Oh, it was awful. Nick is not a good Jamie.
No, from what I've heard, yeah, everyone said he was terrible. But yeah, I thought this looked funny. It definitely had the I'll be home for Christmas. I would not be surprised, if the Camp Rock 3 is contingent upon how popular or
well
successful.
This does.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's probably why none of them have been. They're probably talking about it, and if like Disney and Jonas Brothers still have a thing, then like if this is still a kind of a recipe for success, then maybe. But yeah,
Yeah,
I like them. I like them as performers. I don't have any ill will against them, but
no,
I understand why some people do.
I just will say what like from what I saw of the short teaser trailer that we got, I mean it feels like your classic DCOM, like your Disney
Yeah, it
Channel
feels like it's
original
the movie
movie. Like it
version of their show.
I can't speak to that. I don't remember the show well
Oh
enough,
yeah,
but
it was basically like they played themselves as they played themselves.
like
They lived in a fire.
fictionalized versions of
Yeah, and it
themselves.
was they
Yeah,
went to
yeah.
school and they got into shenanigans and whatnot. And it
Yeah,
was
this
them as
feels like that.
yeah, this is a probably a sequel or going to be a reference to that. It'd be interesting to see if the parents from that show up. But yeah, it reminded me of ironically also a Christmas special. But Drake and Josh did a similar Christmas special like years later, where it was several years after their show had ended. That's what this reminded me of. But yeah, I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I thought it looked funny.
I'll probably watch it when it inevitably is on Disney Plus.
You know what? We'll do all of the trailers. So it's really funny because we've talked about this multiple times, and I said I just can't muster the enthusiasm for this show, and I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like I'm dead set against hating it, but that's the Marvel Zombies. I'm like in my brain, I feel like I'm set on hating it because I watched the trailer and I was like, I feel like I should like this. But there's just something about it. I think it's just because it literally just feels like it's an extended episode of What If, and it's like one of the most boring episodes.
I mean, there's also just the fact that you hate zombie stuff. So
I
you're
not that I hate it.
Yes, you do.
There have been certain zombie things I like, but for the most part, yeah, I don't really care for zombie related material.
So you're never gonna like it on that basis alone.
Watching
Also,
Spider-Man,
yeah, it does. It does feel like a continuation, especially because Spider-Man shows up.
Yeah.
It feels like a continuation of that episode.
That
which
being like it's not is so disingenuous because it clearly is.
It definitely seems like it.
Showing...
To me, it would have been like it would have been better if they had done it in a different, for one thing, a different animation style than What If. If they wanted to be viewed as something separate from that episode, then it should have been a different animation style, and I would have more closely followed the comic story.
Yeah,
I don't really know it. I don't really know what the comic story is, but I would have followed that more.
It just comes across as though they were working on season 4 of What If. They were really, it was like we said before, they were really far along with whatever they had. I saw and said, oh, it's odd that Blade shows up in this. We said this about season 3 of the What If show. It's very apparent they thought Blade was going to come out. And so they're they're like, oh, Blade Knight. I'm like, I didn't get that it was supposed to be Moon Knight, but clearly they thought they were gonna have a season 2 of Moon Knight, and Blade was gonna come out, and people were gonna get the fact that it was Moon Knight and Blade combined. But because Blade hasn't come, it's even weirder because it's voiced by the guy who's supposed to be Blade, Mahershala Ali.
What's funny? Blade. What's funny is I recognized him as Moon Knight. I didn't get that he was supposed to be a Blade combination at all.
Oh yeah, I recognized the voice and the fact that he was all dressed
I recognized
in black.
I recognized the costume as a Moon Knight thing.
But yeah, I didn't get that it was supposed to be an amalgam character until someone said it later. I thought he was just Blade, and I was like, oh yeah, it's weird that you've got Mahershala Ali in this as Blade when he hasn't actually done anything as Blade. But like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's not wicked when Spider-Man pulls off 5 zombies' heads. Like that was sweet. Or when Moonblade slices up a bunch of zombies. That's cool. And the fact that they're like, yeah, this thing gets to be bloody and gross and violent is kind of awesome. And
it's one of those things where
kind of.
It's one of those things where I'll watch it when it comes to streaming. It'll probably make it into one of our future Marvel episodes, right? But it's just
probably gonna do it.
But it's just otherwise, or that, whatever, if it's out by then. But I mean, otherwise, it's just kind of.
It just looks like an episode of a sequel to one of the worser episodes of What If. Like
I don't think it's one of the worser episodes of What If. I just don't think that it was a particularly interesting one.
I didn't say worst. I said worser.
I know.
Like, why not do like a full series of the Power Rangers Avengers or like I don't know.
Clearly, well, because do you want the actual reason why? The actual reason why is because the Power Rangers thing isn't isn't a well-established thing that has a lot of people that will automatically come to it
Yeah.
just based on name power. Whereas Marvel Zombies is a pre-established comic
Yeah.
run, which has a lot of people that love it and care about it and will come and show up
There's
and
just
support it just based on name.
there's just any number
That's the
of
that's the behind the scenes behind the scenes actual reason.
if you're gonna continue any one of those what if episodes, there's just like way more interesting episodes in that series than that one. That one was one of the more dull ones, which
I
is
mean,
not very interesting.
I'm surprised that they haven't made a full show of their character that they made just for What If.
Right?
The I don't remember her character's name, but the Native
The
American
Native
one.
American one, yeah.
Like I'm surprised
Um,
they haven't made a full show of that and tried to sell and make that into a full-on character.
what to do next, Jordan? What to do next?
But
Um,
otherwise, I'm kind of just meh, meh. That was
Worry.
largely my feeling for it. Same with that Mars Attack game that you showed me.
Oh yeah, I just was like, I was like, apparently it's not here for whatever reason. It's fine. There
That
it is.
just when I was looking at that, that just made me go like, oh, so they saw the Jurassic Park games and were like, hey, we could do that for Mars
Well,
Attacks.
everyone said it was. I mean, yes, it's a what I kept it because I was like, what do you call that? Because the article compared it to Roller Coaster Tycoon, and I'm like, is that a resource management game? Because it's not an RTS because there's no attacking involved in it, but it's just a resource management game.
Technically, games like that, yeah, historically are known as simulation
So
games.
it's just a
Yep.
simulation game. Is
Or,
that what it's
or,
called?
or like life simulator. It depends
Yeah.
on the variant, depends on the type of it. But usually, yeah, they're like a simulation type game.
Yeah, I compared it because in it it's basically in it you're the Martians and you're creating what appears to be like a zoo or theme park
Yeah,
with.
theme park.
I just was like, in a world where Destroy All Humans exists, which is basically just Mars attacks, like, how do you make is it just going to be a Destroy All Humans knockoff? I was not expecting a, like, Roller Coaster Tycoon style
No,
game.
that kind of caught me
I
off
was like,
guard.
oh, alright, okay.
But as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, they saw the Jurassic Evolution games and were like, we could do that for ours. Because
Maximize.
it looks like from what I saw in that trailer, it looks like part of it is sometimes humans escape
Yeah.
and you have to recapture them. So that's at
Um,
that point, that's literally just the Jurassic Park evolution where the dinosaurs escape and you have to recapture them.
in news that I can't believe that this was a news piece. So this is gonna be a spoiler for the newest episode of South Park, and I swear every 2 weeks we're not gonna continue talking about South Park. At least I don't think we are. But it's just the headline of this article made me laugh. Say, Donald Trump impregnates Satan in South Park's wild episode.
Uh, okay, I just what?
So during the big twist in the most recent episode of South Park is it's revealed that the reason because it's a whole thing about this, it's about Labubus and Jesus becomes invested in like Labubus are like a demonic thing or whatever, and Satan sees that Jesus sees that Satan is with Trump. And he's like, "Why are you with Trump? Why won't you leave him? Why can't you leave him?" And in the entire episode, he's got a box, and he's like, "I can't leave because what's contained in this box." And then at the end of the episode, he opens the box, the pregnancy test. It turns out he's pregnant with Donald Trump's baby, and it's really just an excuse for the entire episode for them to be like, there's a point where they have Fox News being like, "Are you fucking Satan?" And he's like, "No, I'm not fucking Satan." It's like, okay, because the entire country thinks that you're fucking Satan, and that's where I take sort of distinction and umbrage. The whole country doesn't think he's fucking Satan. That's sort of the problem. Probably generously over half of the country thinks that he's fucking Satan, but the other half doesn't get that he's fucking Satan.
Uh, okay, I just you've broken my
It
brain.
made me laugh though because it was like one of those like I said that in the first episode. I said the joke is that he's literally fucking Satan, and a bunch of people went like, no, that's not it. That's too on the nose. And then they got to this episode and they had like all these Fox News parodies basically be like, he's fucking. Do you get it? He's fucking. We think he's fucking Satan. Do you not get that now? And it was really hilariously condescending. It's like it just felt like the episode reeked of Matt and Trey being like, "Oh my god, do we have to explain jokes now?" Um, I thought that was funny. And so Jordan, um, James Gunn announced
It's
already. He
to be
announced
fair,
already.
it's probably funnier in context.
No, it's. I mean, I pretty much that's it. It's just
No,
people.
but their delivery probably makes it funnier.
It really doesn't. It really does. Anyway, um, so James Gunn announced the next Superman movie, which with a picture of David Cornsweet's Superman and Lex Luthor in his power suit, and he said the next movie is going to be called Man of Tomorrow, which, despite supposedly having Superman and Lex Luthor in it, is not a sequel to Superman, which that doesn't make any sense. It is obviously a sequel to Superman.
But it's Superman 2. How is it not a sequel to Superman? That doesn't make sense. That's stupid, and whoever said that should feel stupid.
Yeah, it says, is the movie called Superman Man of Tomorrow? And James Gunn replied, it's simply called Man of Tomorrow. And apparently...
Oh, so what you're saying is it's going to be a Booster Gold movie.
I mean...
Man of Tomorrow, he comes from the future.
So I saw a bunch of people online saying that, oh, it's not a sequel. It's not a sequel. It's not a sequel. I'm like, but it has Superman and Lex Luthor in it.
And it's continuing the story from the last one.
Right.
That is a sequel. It's a sequel.
So okay, apparently on Threads, Gunn confirmed. Which, hey man, I appreciate that they're already out the gate being like, no, there's another one coming. Which, hey, I don't care. Call it what you want. Well, it's another Superman movie with David Cornsweet Superman. I'm down.
I mean, I'm not down.
Maybe it's supposed to be like, what's weird, it was like, because it was like a cartoon kind of thing, so that makes me wonder if maybe it's because all it says is it's going to involve Lex Luthor and David Cornsweet Superman, and so I saw some people say, oh, maybe it's a Lex Luthor Superman team up movie. That would be weird. Especially how they characterized this Superman or this Lex Luthor. I don't see that happening. So just thinking it out now, that makes me wonder, maybe it's an animated prequel. Like it's about like his first year as Superman.
Maybe.
Because I'd watch that. I'd watch like that if they did like a straight to DVD and like one of those DC animated movies with them, and then they just got them in as voice actors. Like that's fun. That'd be fun.
I mean, I like the animated ones, so I'm always down for more of those. And DC is usually pretty good about them, so
right.
I could be down.
I'm pretty down for that. Jordan, they announced. I don't know if they. Well, I should say, it's according to Variety. This is a rumor. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet.
I thought we didn't do rumors here on the Spur of the Moment podcast.
Well, I don't know. This is what this is just. It's been reported by Variety, who's a fairly reputable source. But apparently, they're making this popular video game franchise into a show. Jordan, which video game franchise do you think it could be? I'll give you. Sorry, I'll give you a hint. Once you hear the name, you'll be like, "What's the point?" And it's a heavily narratively driven game.
I think I know what it is. I think I've heard rumors about this. Is it Life is Strange?
It is indeed Life is Strange. And
yeah, I saw that and I was like, well, what's the point? It's already just a movie. Like
Well, okay. With the first game, I'm a little bit like, that game kind of, the art style looks shitty and cheap. So I'm like, it could theoretically work in a live action sense. And I mean, hey, as
yes
a person
and no.
who likes The Last of Us show is quite good. So I think that could work, but it does kind of blur the line of like, what's the point? It's already a movie. And the performances in it aren't good enough or timeless enough that I'm like, with the first one, where I'm like, yeah, I don't see how being a television show would benefit this. Now the other ones, like True Colors, nah, a show I don't think would do that game's like service. I think that is its own self-contained story that works as its own thing. But that first game, I need to see it. I need to see.
That's my thing.
And I need to see.
Like if I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's the game, then I'll be like, okay, maybe. But if I look at it and I'm like, this is awful, then it will be deleted from my memory and I will never talk
They
about it again.
really the time travel mechanic really needs to be the focus. Like it can't just be like, oh, a couple of moments here and there. Like I want to see like her constantly like rewinding to like solve minor problems.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's what I want out of that. So here's something that's funny.
Like I want her to be really flippant about her powers until the end of the game when she really learns her lesson.
Exactly. Yeah, there needs to be a real morality lesson about not messing with time. So Jordan, apparently, Steven
Also,
Spielberg.
it's going to be hard for them because they're going to have to pick what the canon ending is. Does Chloe live? Does Chloe die?
That's a,
What's the canon ending?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, the number two kind of went with. They
No,
both are.
number two went with you choose which one in that game.
Yeah.
So this will have to make a decision about what it considers to be the canon ending,
Or it changes the ending.
or it'll have to change the ending
Um,
and cheat and cock out and have it be where both the town and Chloe survive and fucking have no balls.
do it. They should do it like a sliding doors thing where like both things happen. Um, so Jordan, apparently, uh, we talked about they're making a Call of Duty movie, and we were like, what's the point? Apparently, Steven Spielberg really wanted to make it. And Jordan, to be clear, Steven Spielberg has made some of the most iconic war movies of all time. You know, Saving Private Ryan, War Horse, like it's just a ton of really iconic war movies. And they told him no. Steven Spielberg, Jordan, one of the most iconic filmmakers of all time. The call Activision was like, no. They were rejected by Activision.
I mean, because Activision was like, there's no point. Is that why?
No, apparently it's a creative control thing. Apparently, if they had agreed to do it, he would have had like ultimate final. Oh, he wanted Final Cut and ultimate creative control, and they didn't want to give that up. Which, like, I
Uh,
mean, fair enough, but also it's Steven Spielberg, man.
yeah, but I guess they were worried about what happens with a lot of video games, where if you give creative control up, it stops looking like the thing that it's advertising, and then they take a hit on their business,
I suppose that is true. Yeah, I suppose that is
theoretically.
true. So, I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch this. I don't really have an interest in it, but it probably like, it came out recently, and that was The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson apparently, and so she now I guess because that movie did quite well is now back in Hollywood, back in the news, and apparently she's gonna be in a new musical called Queen of the Falls with Guy Pearce, and there not much has been revealed about it. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if she's gonna sing, uh,
I mean,
what the
okay, good.
musical is gonna be about. It's an indie project that will heavily feature music.
Okay,
It'll
good for
focus
her.
two lovers on the run. So yeah, I guess it's good for her that she's back and that she had a bad time in the '90s. Jordan, you want to guess? Not guess. You want to hear officially? Um, the official cast of Street Fighter. So we have previously discussed
Jason Momoa's Blanca.
Jason Momoa is Blanca, Andrew Koji is Ryu, Noah Centino is Ken. This is all official now. Kalina Liang is Chun Li, which we knew. Cody Rhodes is Guile, which apparently there's been set photos of him. I have not looked at any of them because I want to see it organically when I see a trailer. Orville Peck is Vega. 50 Cent is Balrog.
50 Cent?
50 Cent, that's the boxer. Yeah, Jason Momoa is Blanca. Viudit Jamwal, I'm so sorry, is Dalsim. He's an Indian actor. Olivia Richards is Zangief.
It's okay, Justin. I don't know any of these names except for Jason Momoa, so
Hiroki Goto is E Honda. David Dalsmalshin is M Bison. Roman Reigns is Akuma. Andrew Schultz is Dan Hibiki. That's funny. Dan Hibiki's in this. Eric Andre is Don Savage. Don Savage, Eric Andre. Mel Jarnson is Cammy. My God, this just keeps going. Is there anyone else that's interesting? I don't know any of these characters. And the
I don't know.
rest.
I don't know any of those people except for
Any of
Jason
and
Momoa.
the rest. I don't know the rest of those characters. Jason Momoa. It's just a
He's,
lot of professional wrestlers for some reason. Really, you don't know who
he's
Cody Rhodes is?
not by name.
WWE champion Cody
Not
Rhodes.
not by name.
He's the guy who John Cena betrayed to go heel. Cody Rhodes.
If you say so.
Cody Rhodes. Um. Um. Jordan, Disney's next movie.
Would you say
Jordan, Disney's next movie, the first original one after Wish, is called Hexed. They revealed the official title, logo, and synopsis. And Hexed.
Hypnopsis?
Hypnopsis. Hip hop nopsis. This new Disney animated movie is about Hexed. It's about an awkward teenage boy and his type A mom who discover that what makes him unusual might just be magical powers that will turn their lives and a secret world of magic upside down. That sounds fun and original.
Okay.
And not a sequel, which means it's ultimately gonna bomb, and then everyone will blame the state of original movies as the reason that it bombs.
And then we'll get 50 more live action remakes.
And then 50 more.
I heard that they're making a Rapunzel one, and they've turned Rapunzel into a. I think I saw she was going to be black now.
Really?
I don't know if that's true. It keeps popping up on my Facebook.
I hadn't heard that. Apparently, Jordan.
There was another one too, but I can't remember what it
Avengers
was.
Doomsday news to wrap up. Apparently, Black Panther is getting a new costume.
Okay.
And apparently,
wait. Girl Black Panther. Was she Black Panther? Who was Black Panther at the end of Black Panther 2?
It was still Girl Black Panther.
Was it? I don't remember seeing her turn into Black Panther at any point.
Yeah, she was.
I only watched that movie like once, and it was like several years ago.
And she's all like, "I'm angry," and Black Panther, and then she was Black Panther at the end of it. And then they were like, "Here's Black Panther's son."
Yeah, I need to rewatch that movie before this third one comes out.
She's gonna have a new costume, and also apparently Robert Downey Jr. is really good, is what they're saying. They're blown away by what he's bringing to the role. Apparently.
Okay. So I'll tackle that in a second. Go back to the girl about Black Panther getting a new suit thing. Do we care?
No.
Like you and I, do we care?
Not even a little bit.
Not even. Okay.
No, cannot. I'm having a real hard time. I can't describe it. A lot of it. To be fair, I've been skipping over a lot of news for Avengers Doomsday because they're all mostly pointless and stupid. But
and spoilers.
And spoilers and whatnot. And unless it comes in the form of a trailer, I'm not really interested in, or it's official. I'm not really interested in talking about it, or like rumors, or like. I mean,
yeah.
The big one was that Ryan Reynolds and
Robert Downey Jr. were
fighting, and then it wasn't them, and then like apparently Wyatt Russell and I can't remember who else, but two of the
New Avengers
were in a fight, and everyone's fighting, and they don't have a script, and there's all sorts of not so shit involved in that movie, and there's just all sorts of stuff where I'm like, this feels like it should be cool. Like, it feels like I should be excited for this. But I can't. And I'm sure that feeling will change when I'm watching it. But I cannot muster. I'm more excited for that Spider-Man movie because they've stripped away all of. Apparently, Tom Holland came out and was like, oh, yeah, we like combed the internet for what fans wanted. And it just sort of sounds like they've stripped away all of the bullshit. And that's kind of what I want. I want it to be all stripped down. Like they escalated it to an unrealistic place. I want them to bring it down to the ground again, so that they can build up to big shit again.
Yeah, well, that's kind of just it, and that's something that I've sort of become aware of when it comes to Marvel is because they kept upping the stakes. Yeah, you're right. Now they're at a point where all they can do is the high stakes stuff, but it's like that gets when you're at like an 11 for too long. You get kind of tired of being at an 11.
There is a but to that, though.
Yeah, sure. Let me finish, though. So Yeah, I'm more excited for Spider-Man because we're down to the ground again. And it's not to say that I'm not
Theoretically, anyway.
excited. Yeah, theoretically, but it's not to say that I'm not excited for this. But like having a big like everyone's there thing is kind of done. You did it with Endgame. You did it with like Infinity War. You did it and like so it's not new or exciting anymore. So
No.
it doesn't evoke that oh my God, I can't believe because it's been done.
Right.
And
And I'm
as for
not
the
looking
Robert,
to watch 60-year-old versions of like the X-Men, or in some cases 70, 80-year-old version, do a
yeah,
half-ass, not as, hey, maybe if we'd done this 10 years ago, this would be interesting
and
version of
and
this.
I'm not super thrilled. I'm still not super thrilled with Robert Downey Jr. being back as Doctor Doom. Like,
They're
yeah,
going to
yeah,
have to
he
do something real interesting
has
with
to
it.
do something like real fantastic, real interesting to really sell me on it because otherwise, at face value, I don't like it. Point blank, full stop. No
Like it.
talking me out of that. I don't like it.
Don't like it. Um, um, shit. I had a point.
Um,
My brain is skipping. I'm just trying to think. I had a point I wanted to make about. I'm not excited for this. Not really. Um,
not excited.
not excited. I don't. Yeah, I don't. I'm more excited for Spider-Man because Spider-Man sounds so much more basic, and that's what I'm interested in. Nope, it's completely gone. I'm sure it'll come back to me later. I think that's it, Jordan. I think that's the news. Did it. Oh, that's what it was. That's what I was gonna say. I remember now. Um, I saw someone say, "Oh, I'm sick to death of the multiverse. I'm sick to death of this take." And I saw it pop up again. Of I'm sick to death of the multiverse because it removes stakes and it gets too messy and no characters can die ever and it's so lazy and blah blah blah. But like they've never done any of that. Like they've never been like, oh, and then here's another version of Spider-Man steps out. They've never done that. They've never used the multiverse. In fact, they haven't done anything with the multiverse because every time that they seem to be winding up to it, everyone whines that they're doing too much multiverse stuff. But not really. There really hasn't been that much multiverse stuff for how much people are complaining about all the multiverse stuff.
I mean,
There's like
other
what
than
been like two multiverse movies, and they're not really multiverse movies.
yeah, like I would say the multiverse is more overdone in the extraneous stuff. So like what if or that Spider-Man show where they're like he goes through the different
Yeah,
portals
but
and
they never
stuff
do
or
anything
but they
interesting
don't
with it.
do yeah, I know. Well that's more my point is that so it's like but to say that it's overdone in the movies or like Loki is another example, but to say that it's overdone in the movies not really.
Look,
The movie that did the most with the two movies that did the most with the multiverse are
yeah,
Spider-Man and Deadpool.
yeah,
Those are really it. And I guess maybe if you want to throw in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness,
right.
maybe that one. So that's like what, three movies?
Also, to say that, oh, okay, any version can, but it's not the same version then. Like if
Well,
you
no,
treat if you
it's
treat every version of like Spider-Man as their own unique character, then no, that version. I kind of discovered that this week with watching some of this stuff, where it's like, yeah, sure, but that version of that thing is now gone and it's never coming back, and it's kind of a bummer.
yeah. The multiverse, the point of the multiverse is that there's infinite versions of yourself, sure, but they're all different variants. So they're
Yeah,
never no two versions are exactly the same. There might be slight differences. You flipped a coin and Spider-Man A got heads and Spider-Man B got tails, but that Spider-Man B still has a life experience that Spider-Man A never had, thus
exactly.
making him a different and distinct version of himself. So that and we're getting into the metaphysical talk of multiverse here, but that unique version of Spider-Man can never be seen again if he
Right.
dies. So
Right.
death still
And
matters.
and yeah, this lazy version of the multiverse stories that people complain about doesn't exist either. Like that doesn't exist. I saw people say they're like, oh yeah, the only two good multiverse movies are like Spider Verse and No Way Home. I was like, yeah, but those are the only and then other than like okay, Multiverse of Madness, but like those are like the three multiverse movies, and then non Marvel everything everywhere all at once. But like it didn't really it didn't really get overused. Like, if it didn't, at least not in my opinion, there wasn't like 1,000 multiverse movies. There's like 5 on a. I can say this again, because we tried to do a multiverse episode, and it turned out to be kind of hard.
It was surprisingly difficult. Yeah. To be
fair, people say that's so overdone. There's really not that many multiverse movies.
Well, part of the problem is that people sometimes attribute shows and stuff as well into that category. So like on Disney Plus, like I said, there's Loki. There's a few different things on there. But no, and they also, to be fair, they also attribute alternate dimensions with multiverse or like parallel universe or whatever.
There's not that many of those kinds of movies out there. Not really. Like, we couldn't get 18 together, really. We had to bend some rules. So, like, I'm just saying, for how much people complain that it's so overdone, it's really not that overdone. I think it's because they kept talking about it as a concept. Oh, we're going to tackle the multiverse. We're going to tackle the multiverse. And everyone expected, like, 5 Spider-Man to walk out of a portal, and then that just never happened. Not really.
Yeah.
I kind of did.
Kind of did in the last Spider-Man movie, but not really.
Not really. Not the way that people bitch about. But anyway, that is the news. We have jumped straight in to the news. See, that's a reference nobody gets. Who's getting a Keemstar reference in 2025? Is that guy still around? I don't know if he is.
Who?
Keemstar?
Who?
Keemstar?
Don't know who that is.
Exactly. He's an internet person. Today's show, Jordan. Today's show is brought to you by in our series of shows on the network on the Arte Media Pantheon. You can go check out Toon Talk 2.0, where they've been off for a few weeks. I'm guessing because Jake got married and Virus has been busy with whatever Virus does. But a rebel and a journalist, they get together usually on Tuesdays around 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and they talk about whatever the heck they want to talk about. Usually it's media related or related to some movie or what have you. I've been on a few other episodes. I always have fun. I think Jordan was on at least one episode.
I think so.
But I've linked one of my personal favorite episodes in the description below, which was our court fake mock trial episode where we put various characters on trial. It was 100% improvised. All of it was improvised. We wrote nothing. We thought of nothing. It was all made up on the spot. Some of the best improv I think I've ever done. It was really, really funny. It's a really funny episode. Everyone on it is hilarious. I've linked it in the description below. Go check it out and go subscribe to. It is on the Pantheon podcast YouTube channel, and there's all sorts of other great YouTube shows on there. We will talk about them another time, but go check out Toon Talk 2.0, usually on Tuesdays. That's
with the show.
On with the show. That's the sponsorship section. On with the show. So today I'm going to be real honest with you guys. A lot of times I make episodes because I want to watch a thing.
Yes.
And I quite wanted to watch K-pop Demon Hunter, which meant we are going to do a Netflix special. And the rules were you had to watch at least two Netflix originals. But because I had not seen a ton of them that I hadn't already talked about, I watched a bunch of Netflix originals. But, as always, Jordan, take it away. Also, all this shit's all on Netflix. It's all on Netflix.
Hence why it's a Netflix
Yeah,
special.
Even if it's not a Netflix original, the movie is on Netflix.
We should say it's on Canadian Netflix.
That's true, yes. It's on Canadian Netflix.
Different Netflixes might be different.
It may not be on whatever Netflix you have. But unless it's a Netflix original, then it will definitely be on Netflix.
Which, a decent chunk of what I watched were...
Almost all of
mine. Were originals. So the first one, however, that I watched is not a Netflix original. It's called Rat Race. It's from 2001.
It's a race.
And it's a race.
It's a race.
And it's inspired by It's a Mad World.
Yes, it's not a straight adaptation, although it's pretty close to being a straight adaptation.
But it's not. It's inspired by.
It's inspired by.
It's an ensemble cast. You've got John Cleese, Rowan Atkinson, Whoopi Goldberg.
A bunch of theoretically famous people.
Wayne Knight,
Wayne
Seth
Brady.
Green, no Wayne Brady.
Is it Wayne Brady in it? Pretty sure Wayne Brady's in it. Not
No.
Wayne Brady. No, sorry. Cuba Gooding Jr. He looks like Wayne Brady.
Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He looks
But
like
no,
Wayne Brady.
not Wayne
Yeah,
Brady.
Seth Green. It's the first thing I ever saw Seth Green in was this movie.
Yeah, when I was rewatching it this time, I was like, oh shit, I forgot Seth Green is in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got a lot of people
John,
that you definitely know nowadays.
John Cleese and his big fake teeth.
Yeah.
Or
And so the point of it is 6 teams of people are told that they have to go to Silver City, New Mexico from Las Vegas Casino. And there's a train station which has a bag which has $2 million in it.
and they're all trying to get there. John Lovitz.
Oh,
My favorite. Oh man, this movie is again one of my all-time favorite movies. I mean, there's so many great scenes. I love the bit where they wind up at the Barbie museum.
yeah. There's the family. They're like, can we go to the Barbie? And they think that is the doll, and it's Barbie like Nazis or
One of the
whatever,
Nazis. Yeah, they end up driving Hitler's car.
and they're Jewish.
Yeah. As a kid, I had no idea who John Lovitz was. But now as an adult, it's just certain movies where you're like, as an adult, it's so much funnier. Now that I know John Lovitz is Jewish, yeah, the bit where he smacks his face on the handlebar, he's got the little
His
pencil
mustache, and then he ends up at the veteran place, and his tongue is burned. He's like,
It's a flip it off. So the fact that the movie ends with a not Sum 41, a Smash Mouth concert randomly.
Mouth. Hey now, you're a rock star.
No,
Get your
I'll
game
go.
on.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. I could never stage dive. That freaks me out.
Oh, I'd be terrified.
I
of
just
that-
couldn't
them
do
not
it. That
catching
freaks me. Yeah, exactly. What if one of them doesn't catch me? That freaks me out, man. I don't like it.
Plus, just the idea of people's fingers in places I don't want them to be.
What if a finger slipped into my butthole, Jordan?
I mean, you're wearing pants, but like the crack,
there could be some slippage.
it could get uncomfortable.
There's a
is the
chance that
point.
there could be some slippage, Jordan. That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, no,
You wouldn't want any slippage.
I enjoy this movie quite a bit.
That's funny.
It's
Rowan Atkinson, yeah, as the I love the fact that
He's
he
a-
wins.
he's a race. I'm winning.
Thomas Lennon as the John Cleese's assistant. One of my favorite bits is where he's like, "I want the two of us, in a hot tub filled with Pepto-Bismol."
How much would that cost me?
How much would that run?
About this much. Aha! So she went, and they all come out, and they're like, they're insane. One of my favorite parts is when the key cutter guy steals Seth Green and his brother's key, and they chase him down, and then the guy is in the air balloon as they're driving on, and then the one brother climbs on those. He's like, ah! Yeah, so funny.
I watched a movie from this era with the guy who's Seth Green's brother, and it was like clearly around the same era, like around the same time, because he like had the same haircut and everything, and he didn't have the swollen tongue. It was super weird.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say about this one other than apparently
The real classic.
interesting. Filming began in Calgary, Alberta, Canada in August 2000.
Oh, really?
Filming took place primarily along Calgary's highways,
Oh.
which stood in for the Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico ones.
Oh, how interesting. Very interesting. George, is that it?
Cool. That's it for this one.
That's it for He's a Race. He's a rat race.
He's a race.
He's a
I'm
race.
winning.
I'm winning.
It's nothing but a rat race.
Nothing but a rat race. So Jordan, yeah. So when I was looking through for stuff to have seen, I hadn't seen a lot, so I just decided, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna pick a bunch of Netflix movies I've never seen, and the game is gonna be twofold. Number one, did I add it to your list? And number two, do I recommend it? And number three, would you watch it based upon the descriptions you have heard? In some cases, you won't get a choice. So I guess the question will be, are you excited to watch it based upon... Joe, my first thing is a movie called Orion in the Dark. And it, just bearing the lead right away, is quite good. It's a little animated movie about a little boy who is afraid of everything. He has anxiety about literally everything. He freaks out about everything. And he has a big old crush on a little girl. And his class is going to be going on a field trip. And he doesn't want to go because he's scared. But the girl he likes is inviting him to go with her, to sit with her. And so at night, his parents turn on like all the bunch of night lights. And the literal manifestation of dark shows up. And is like, hey, I am sick to death of your whining. You whine and are scared. You are, of the people who are scared of me, the most annoying. And he's like, so here's the deal. I take you out for the night and I show you that there's not really anything to be scared of, and we'll go from there. And it's one of those thing you don't understand has a physical manifestation. So there's a bunch of different entities that all have various jobs. There's Insomnia, who whispers, like, who can imitate you and like whisper your own self-doubts into your ear to cause you to wake up. There's Dreams. There's Unexplained Noises, which is just like, the random garbage cans or whatever to make you freak out and wake up. There's Quiet, Dream, and I think that's it. And then there's the opposite to dark, Light. And I am not going to give a ton of this away because, spoiler alert, Jordan, it's added to your list because it's really good and it's really cute.
I mean, it sounds like fun.
It's really fun. It's really funny. I don't want to give there's a couple of really, the nature of what the narrative is. There's kind of a twist involving it that I don't know if it's in the trailer, so I don't want to give it away. The ending is really, really fun and really, really clever. And it's a really good, just thematically, a really good meta story about the nature of telling a story to children. It's a child's movie, so I don't feel like this is too much of a spoiler, but because they all contain this. But there is an all is lost moment.
All is lost.
Yeah, the famous all is lost moment. There is an all is lost moment, and the story or the what's happening starts to change, and one of the characters is like, no, you shouldn't change what's happening because it might be scary. Like, we need to hear things that are a bit scary. We need to learn how to deal with that. We can't just ignore it. We have to tell stories and tell ideas in a way to children in a way that obviously isn't too overwhelming, but is also still engaging. And it's a really well executed, I'm trying to do this without giving anything away, but it's a really well executed story about telling
morality
stories.
Lesson.
Well, just about telling stories and how you should tell a story and how you should let people discover storytelling or discover art. And it's really cute, and it's really good, and it's really well made. And yeah, it is absolutely added to your list. You will be watching it. Jordan, would you watch this?
I'd watch that.
Good. Yeah, there's a bunch of really good the voice casts stand out. Yeah, it's really good. We will probably come back to it and talk about it when we do our You Don't Get a Choice episode. That's Orion and the Dark. I have no qualms about spoiling the next one, though.
So, my next rapid fire. 2009. I don't remember exactly when he joined the Marvel machine, but this is a movie called Push, and Chris Evans is in it.
What year is it?
2009.
Yeah, this is pre-Captain America. Or
is this pre-Captain America?
No, it might be around Captain America. Cause
I'm too lazy to look it up.
I cannot be bothered to look it up. But no. Yeah, it's definitely post Iron Man. This is whether or not it's pre.
Yeah, because I think didn't Iron Man happen like at 2009?
2008.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm too lazy to look it up.
So either
Maybe
he's already made it or he's about to make it. It's kind of in that space.
This might be what got him Captain America.
I mean, isn't this movie just X-Men?
Kind of. I mean, sort of.
I remember it just being I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie in theaters, but I remember it being like a nothing of a movie.
I mean, it's fun.
So it's what I
It
recall.
really depends on how much you like the like the people that are in it. I like Chris Evans, so
Not super
it
memorable to me.
it makes me more forgiving. I like the idea of the world, like the idea that within society there's pushers who are basically telekinetics. There's the people that can like read the future.
I can see the
There's
future.
people who can scream so loud that they make like your ears bleed. Like the idea that there's these different kinds of powers is interesting. And my one issue with this movie is I want to know more of the world.
Underexplained.
Kind of, like a little bit. Not underexplained in terms of like the movie, but just like it introduces these interesting concepts, but those interesting concepts aren't the point.
Oh, interesting.
If that makes any sense.
Yes, yes, it does.
Um,
I know exactly what you mean.
like the point is more about how Chris Evans and Dakota Fanning's characters are trying to escape
Wait, like child
this.
Dakota Fanning?
I think she was like 14 when she made
Oh,
this movie,
teenage
so
Dakota Fanning.
something like that. I think the character's supposed to be 13, and I think I read that she was 14 when she made the movie.
That makes sense.
14 or 15, somewhere in that range. Anyway, not the point. Um, they're trying to basically defeat slash escape from this American government agency who has either killed or kidnapped people that are related to them.
The Men in Black.
Um, essentially, basically.
They are the Men in Black.
And the that government agency wants to create an army of super soldiers, and Chris Evans and Dakota Fanning's characters and the other characters are all like, no,
Don't do that.
don't do that. And so yeah, it introduces this world where there's all these people who have different powers and stuff, and it's like I want to know more about the world.
I
Like
want to
how did
be.
when did they first discover that these people had powers? Did this world always have superpowers? Like what other powers are there that maybe they don't know about? Like it's just there's a lot of interesting potential that they don't really and from what I remember of how this ended, they kind of like leave it open for a sequel that never got made.
All right.
Like a very huh. Interesting. So apparently Wildstorm, an imprint of DC Comics, did a comic book miniseries that was a prequel to the film.
Huh. Huh.
So, so maybe they explored more of the world there.
Maybe. That makes sense.
But yeah, interesting. That's all I have to say about this one. It's not it's fine. It's one of those like if you have Netflix, you can check it out. It's nothing revolutionary.
All right. All right. Jordan. Is that it?
I already said yes.
All right. All right. So Jordan, in our list of Netflix originals, this one won an Oscar. So I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to remember that fact when I talk to you about. I'm going to butcher the
What
pronunciation.
what Oscar?
The Academy Award.
No, but which one?
I'm going to tell you in a second. Where I tell you about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Oh, but Pinocchio. Got it.
It's
Got
actually
it.
called that. It's
You
called.
know, funny enough, I almost when we did pick an actor, I almost picked Guillermo del Toro, and almost picked that one.
You mean director?
Whatever.
That would make sense. Jordan, let me ask you. Let me just start off this discussion about this Pinocchio movie. I don't want to pronounce his name anymore because I'm going to keep pronouncing it wrong.
Just call him Mr. Del Toro.
I'm gonna call him GT. No, GD, Guillermo del Toro. GT's Pinocchio.
GDT.
Jordan, let me start this off by asking you this question. When you watched the Disney Pinocchio movie, did you ever say to yourself, you know what this needs more of? Italian fascism.
Of the things I thought when I watched that movie, I can confirm that that was not one of them.
Jordan, did you ever ask yourself?
But that doesn't mean that the movie wouldn't be enhanced from it.
Jordan, let me ask you more questions. Did you ever, when you're watching the scene where they go to Pleasure Island, Did you ever say to yourself, what if that were an Italian work camp, training camp for fascists, and Lampwick got killed in an aerial bombing raid? And his name was Candlewick because his dad was a bully. He said he was weak like a candlewick.
I don't know how to address that question, so I'm just gonna blink
Jordan,
at you until we move on.
Hey, Jordan, have you ever said to yourself, but what if Geppetto had a really upsetting and quite frankly tragic backstory, where he was, Jordan, where
just gonna keep blinking at you,
Jordan, where he died, and say it again with me, Italian fascism. Because if you had said yes to any of those questions, you'd have GD's
Italian fascism.
You'd have GD's Pinocchio, which in this world, Jordan, Geppetto, which like I knew Geppetto was an Italian name. I don't know why I never put the connection together. But he lives in a little Italian village with his son, whom he loves very much, his firstborn son. And whilst fixing a crucifix at a church, Geppetto's son gets bombed and killed. And Geppetto's very sad and does not finish the crucifix. And becomes a drunk, doesn't finish it. But then they plant a wooden tree. I can't remember what the tree is made out of. Pine. I think it was a pine tree. At the kid's grave. And in a fit of drunken rage. And watching this movie, I looked up a bunch of stuff about Pinocchio. Because I wanted, it was like, how like accurate is the Disney movie to the
Brothers Grimm story?
No, it's based on a novel, on an Italian novel.
Oh,
and Jordan,
so not the Brothers Grimm.
There is no Pinocchio Brothers Grimm.
Okay.
But interestingly enough, Jiminy, because they called the cricket in this movie Sebastian J. Cricket.
No. Sebastian is the crab or lobster. Crab or lobster. I don't remember if he's a crab or a lobster.
Pretty sure he's a crab. And that's where I learned that in the original book, the cricket doesn't have a name. And in fact, the cricket and Pinocchio are not friends. Pinocchio kills the cricket in like the 3rd chapter, and then the ghost of the cricket haunts him. But it was Disney that invented the concept of Jiminy Cricket, and the concept of them being friends and him being like a guide figure. Disney invented that. Also, fun fact, the fish that swallows Geppetto at the end of the book, not a whale. It's in fact a dogfish.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And for the record, Sebastian is a crab.
Sebastian is a crab. That's what I thought. So
he's a red Jamaican crab.
Geppetto, or Sebastian, the cricket, moves into the tree that eventually becomes Geppetto. And Geppetto, in a fit of drunken rage, carves the tree into a puppet. And what is this story's version of the Blue Fairy, which is a bunch of like woodland spirits, all come together and into the Blue Fairy and bring the puppet to life as Geppetto's son. And he initially he goes to church, and the townsfolk see him and are initially freaked out by him, and he gets taken or tricked into going with Pinocchio, so he winds up at the circus, and him and the circus guy and Geppetto fight over Pinocchio, and Pinocchio dies, gets killed, straight up killed, and he goes to the afterlife, where it is revealed that Pinocchio cannot die, that anytime he dies, he goes to the spirit world where there's all these hourglasses, and he just has to wait for the hourglass to run out, and then he goes back to life, and he could just keep dying. And so the fascists, the Italian fascists, which as an aside looks an awful lot like German fascism, like they've got like the red armbands and they do the salute. I'm not going to do the salute, but they do the salute. Like it looks pretty much the same. They're like, hey,
I've never seen a real life Italian fascist, so for all I know, they did.
Yeah, no, for all I know. But so the fascist is like, hey, Pinocchio can't die, So we should have him be a soldier and fight people for us. So Italy could be the greatest country on the planet. And Geppetto's like, no. And so then he gets drunk and calls Pinocchio a burden. And Pinocchio feels guilty. And so he goes and he runs away to the circus and to work for the circus. So the circus will send him money back to Geppetto. And then Geppetto feels guilty and starts chasing after Pinocchio, like chasing him all after the country while Pinocchio does all these performances. And here's my follow-up. Here's another question I have for you. Have you ever watched Pinocchio and said to yourself, man, I wish Benito Mussolini was in this, voiced by SpongeBob?
No. I don't. No? He's the puppet guy, right?
Who, SpongeBob? Oh, Benito
No,
Mussolini?
yeah.
No, John. Benito Mussolini was the fascist leader of Italy during World War II.
Oh, that just shows how bad I know my history.
He's the Italian equivalent to Hitler.
Oh, and he's voiced by SpongeBob?
He's voiced by he's voiced by
That feels like an
Tom
odd
Kenny.
choice.
He's voiced by Tom Kenny, and he shows up, and Pinocchio does this performance.
He shows up, and Pinocchio does his performance, and he just starts laughing. the SpongeBob laugh.
No, in fact, what happens is he shows up.
Mussolini, I mean.
Yeah,
he does the SpongeBob laugh.
I can see why you would say that, but what happens is even funnier. He shows up, and Pinocchio does a performance about how Benito Mussolini's poop, and he just keeps calling him poop for like. Also, this movie is a musical. Inexplicably, the character sings, and you're like, oh, maybe this is. But then, no, the characters break out into songs multiple times throughout the movie. And Pinocchio calls Benito Mussolini poop, and then Benito Mussolini is like, shoot him, and then kills him. Shoots him in the head.
And then he comes back 2 hours later.
And he comes back to life, yeah. And yeah, so Pinocchio, or Geppetto and Sebastian, they get eaten by the dogfish, which is basically this movie's version of Monstro. And Pinocchio goes and saves them. There's a big whole thing where he escapes from this circus, and oh yeah, he becomes friends with Lampwick, or Candlewick, which is this movie's version of Lampwick, which is, you probably don't know that character by name, I keep saying it, but Lampwick is, he's the character that tricks him into or convinces him to go to Pleasure Island. So
the fox.
Not the fox, no.
The fox.
Not convinces him, but he meets at Pleasure Island. He's the one who in the Disney version
the little boy that turns into a donkey.
Yeah, in the book it's so much more fucked up. In the book, Pinocchio finds him later as a donkey, and he's like dies of old donkey age.
That's kind of fucked up, Justin.
But yeah, so there's a bit where Pleasure Island, like I said earlier, in this movie is basically they go to it's not a work camp, but it's like a boot camp basically for Italian soldiers. He winds up at this boot camp, and the Allies bomb this camp, this boot camp, and you don't see Candlewick come back, so it's like but presumed he's dead. And he gets into a big confrontation with the evil circus guy. Pinocchio becomes friends with the circus guy's sidekick, who's like a monkey, and they get into a big confrontation, and the circus guy dies. He gets tossed off a cliff and dies, and Pinocchio, while saving Geppetto from the dogfish, dies, goes to the place, and she's like, yeah, rules is rules, you gotta wait for the hourglass, unless you smash it, then you'll be mortal, and if you die, that's it, final. The only thing that prevents you, that keeps you from becoming a real boy, is the fact that you can't die. So then Pinocchio dies, saving Geppetto, and earlier in the movie, the cricket and the blue fairy made a deal that if the cricket helped Pinocchio be like a real boy and be good and follow his conscience and all that bullshit, that he would grant, or that the fairy would grant Jiminy Cricket, for lack of a better name, one wish. And so he's like, well, I turned him into a good boy because he sacrificed his life. I want you to bring him back to life. So she brings him back to life, and then the final scene of the movie is Pinocchio slowly watching Geppetto. No, first it's Jim. First it's the cricket. They're crazy. He's like, and then and then Pinocchio found me dead. And it's like you see him like bury the cricket, and then the next was Geppetto, and you see him bury. You see Geppetto dies like an old man, and then it
Sounds
was
unnecessarily dark.
and then it was like and then the last one to go is the monkey, and then the monkey dies of old age, and he's like, some say that Pinocchio is still wandering the earth. Will Pinocchio die? No one knows. And then that's how the movie ends, and it's weird. It's very weird. It's very weird and very dark and very upsetting, which is a real feat considering Pinocchio is already weird and upsetting. I can't say that it wasn't good, because it was, but this is the movie that beat Puss in Boots. This is the movie
that don't know that I like that.
Right? I was like, this beat Puss in Boots, and we're going to get to why that upset me when I talk about Puss in Boots later. But I was like, what? This was it was okay, but it was not better than Puss in Boots. It was just weird and upsetting and like dark for the kind of the sake. It was like, yeah, it was like they took the Pinocchio, which is already a dark story, and ratcheted it up. So Jordan, to wrap this up, would you watch this?
I mean, maybe, I don't know. It sure, I guess.
It did not get added to your list.
If I had to.
It did not get added to your list. That's Pinocchio. That's Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Okay, so my next one, I watched the Fun with Dick and Jane, the Jim Carrey movie. Fun fact: did you know that that's actually a remake?
I did know that. Yes, a movie from
of
the
a movie from 1977.
Oh, never mind, 1970. Close enough.
Which is apparently based on a series of the original is based on a series of books about characters named Dick and Jane.
Isn't the Jim Carrey movie, like, apart from the name, not really all that related to the original?
I mean, it is loosely in so far of the fact that, like, the story, from what I was reading, the story is basically the same, where they're a well-off family who lose their he gets fired from his well-off job, and then they struggle financially to keep afloat.
Oh, okay.
So the loose plot of it, I'm guessing, I didn't read the original.
They don't rob people, though, I think, in the original.
I don't know. I didn't read the full article on the original. But probably not, because 1977, what comedy would have been different back then. But in terms of this one, though, I like Jim Carrey movies, and this is a pretty peak Jim Carrey movie.
I mean, it's sort of in that era of like.
It's produced by the same guy. It's produced by the same guy who did Liar Liar and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Tom Shadyac, I think, directed this. But it's
Brian Grazer.
Ah, fair. Yeah, it's in that middling era of like he's still trying to pretend he has an interest in doing comedies, and it's like he's trying, but his heart just isn't in it. His heart's just not. It's Jim Carrey at like his like most middling, but
middle ground, I would say.
It's not bad Jim Carrey, but it's certainly not.
Financially, it did okay though.
It did all right. To me, in terms of like a bad Jim Carrey movies, it's kind of like Mr. Popper's Penguins. Like we're like, it's all right. It's not doing anything special, but it's not the number 23.
It's just banking on Jim Carrey's Jim Carreyness, and
Pretty
it's kind
much.
of riding on that.
It's him putting in like a quarter of the effort, being like, I'm Jim Carrey. I'm just going to do the Jim Carrey thing, and that's kind of what he's doing.
Which is fine, because that's all I want from him.
But that's not to say there's not funny. Oh, but also like, the bit at the end where he's like, and you're gonna sign this is honestly a pretty good monologue.
And then at the very end,
also Alec Baldwin's also pretty funny in this.
Where they see one of his former coworkers or friend or whatever, Garth, drives up in the Bentley and he's doing well, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I just signed with Enron." I will never forget that moment, because when I watched it, I remember watching this the first time in theaters.
What the fuck is an Enron?
And I remember not getting it, and our mutual friend explaining it to us and going like, "Oh, that's funny," and then being like, "That's funny. That's a funny joke."
I know what Enron is.
Him laughing out loud at it and us not getting it. Like, I'll never forget that.
I remember. Enron, the Enron.
I obviously, yeah, know more about Enron now,
I
but
took
at the
him the money
time,
and the gun was gone. The end run, 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 the end run,
2005,
run.
I would have been like just getting into high school at this point. So like very much did not know what Enron was at the time.
No.
But
I
yeah,
might
no,
have.
this is not a Netflix original for those who haven't guessed it yet.
No.
We haven't hit those yet for me. But I like this movie. I one of the funnier jokes to me is how um their kid they spend so little time
No,
with
I
their
know that
kid
he
because
can
they're so
only speak
busy that
Spanish.
he's got the Spanish accent and he speaks Spanish, and so the point where Dick gets deported and he phones home and the little kid answers and sounds like a Spanish national. So
Not the
funny.
television!
Not the television. Where
Uh,
are you taking my television?
it's only okay for us to do that because he's white.
He's white
He's white.
and
That
he's
makes it makes we're making fun of him.
not the actual
No, we're
language.
allowed to do that because he's white. Because he's white. Jordan, you have anything else to say on the fun that we could have with with the Dick and the J?
The Dick and the Jane, there's a lot of funny points in this movie. I enjoy it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you haven't watched it, go see it.
Go see it. It's on Netflix. All these things on Netflix. You could check
In
them
in
out on Netflix.
in
Netflix, you should sponsor us
in Canada,
in
on
Canada.
Netflix in Canada.
In Canada. Netflix, you should sponsor us. Jordan, is that the end?
That is
So my next one is actually another. I selected it because it is an adaptation of the. Well, technically, it's an adaptation of the comic book. Apparently, Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland. But for this show, I watched the anime. And I wanted to see. I'd seen it pop up because I recognized the name, and I was like, "Wait, is that Little Nemo?" And I was like, "It is Little Nemo," but it's not really Little Nemo. For a refresher, probably gonna put the what I said about it before. Jordan, look up over to your right, my left. There we go. I wonder what I said about that anime that I watched that one time, Little Nemo. But this isn't really it's not really an adaptation of that. I tried to look up the comic book, but the comic book seems to be more or less an adaptation of that original movie. So this kind of it's an adaptation in the sense that it has elements and parts to it, but it's not really. It has Nemo, the character Nemo. It has the walking bed, which is a pretty iconic, and it has Flip. That's kind of it, and he's really just Flip in name only, and kind of attitude, but he's not really Flip. So this movie, I'm also not gonna give away too much because guess what, Jordan? Add it to your list. I quite liked it, so we're gonna do as basic. We're not gonna give away. There's a couple of rather big twists, which are kind of fun, but involving the Jason Momoa character. But basically, it's a girl who this isn't a spoiler because it happens really early on, but her dad dies, and
whoa, that's a spoiler.
She goes to live with her uncle, and at night she travels to this place called Slumberland, where it's a bunch of dreams, and she runs into Jason Momoa, who's a character called Flip. And while sleeping in Slumberland, they are searching for these pearls. He wants to wish because he was partners with her dad, and when he left and got married, he instead of waking up, he chose to remain in Slumberland. And because he's remained in Slumberland too long, he doesn't remember who he is when he's awake. And so he wants to get one of these pearls so that he can make a wish, so he can remember who he is and wake up. And she wants to see the dad again. And the movie is basically their adventures across Dreamland as they try to get these pearls. There is a organization that's chasing after them that's basically like the Dream FBI. As near as I can tell, they're original characters for this movie. They're not from the book. The performances are more or less good. Jason Momoa has these really horrid, like fake vampire fangs. So all of his lines are muffled, and like as though he's talking with plastic fangs in his mouth because he is. Um, the Chris O'Dowd is there as the brother, and he usually is Irish. It was really distracting that he had this thick American accent. I was like, whoa, that was off-putting. He's usually Irish. That's weird. But he has a really solid performance, especially towards the end. There's some really good stuff involving him that's really, really fun. It's a really, really fun movie, and we will get more into it in depth later. But also, this is going to come with a recommendation of next time we do anime, you should watch Little Nemo.
I might just do that.
Little Nemo is not getting added to the list, only this is, but you should watch Little Nemo because it makes this more interesting.
I might just do that.
So that's Adventures in Slumberland. It's really quite good. It's okay. So I guess we got 3 questions. Jordan, I mean, are you excited to watch this?
I mean, I think this was one that I picked for my list, so yes.
All right.
Like, wasn't this the one that I had to bump because you had already picked it?
It was the one you had.
So yes, I was clearly excited by the idea of it. It looked like fun.
Are you excited to watch Little Nemo?
That's this one, right?
That's the animated version of this.
I mean, if it's like this, then sure.
All right. That's it. That's Adventures in Slumberland. It's quite good. You should check it out. It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. It's quite good. You'll like it. Check it out.
So.
Check it out. Check it out. I'm gonna check it out, Kai.
My next one came out in 2014, and it was one that I was always kind of surprised was allowed to exist. It's called The Interview.
Yes, the classic. The Interview just came out at the wrong time. That movie is more well known than it probably should be, based on how alright it is. I remember watching. I remember. I paid for that. Like, I paid for it on digital because it was so quote unquote controversial. It really wasn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's only controversial because of who it's about.
And
in
at
terms
this point,
of
who's in it, because James Franco got canceled and whatnot.
No, but we're not looking at it through the lens of today. We're looking at it through the lens of
2014.
2014 when this came out. The biggest thing, the only thing that really made this movie controversial was the fact that it was about North Korea, Kim Jong-un.
Yeah. And because they hacked. There's something involved a leak. That Seth Rogen has talked about how much of a bummer everything that happened in that movie was, because they were like, it wasn't really that big a thing, but because it got hacked by North Korea and like it got turned into this big thing. But it was like, I just remember by the time that movie came out, everyone being like, really, it was for this?
That's just it. It's like it's if it had been any other like leader in the world, they would have just shrugged it off and been like, okay, it's a stupid, silly comedy romp. Who cares, right? But because the Jong-uns have such a fragile ego, the North Koreans have such a fragile ego, they basically threatened to bomb and they threatened to terrorist attack any theater that played this movie.
Yep.
And turned it into a bigger thing than it really should have been, considering it's kind of just an okay movie.
It went, they wouldn't give it a theatrical. I don't think they directly said that they were gonna, but they were definitely worried about it, because it very much got pulled from theaters. I think eventually they did put it into theaters.
They did a limited release, I believe, at a certain point.
I had to get it off of digital, and it was like a couple days after it had come out. And I just remember being like, really? That's. I will say though that there's a lot of stuff in there that like is weirdly true, like the bit about them putting in fake food in grocery stores.
Fake grocery stores.
That's real.
Like that.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing that they did. That is legit true. There's a couple of things about him in there that are like creepy accurate, because I suspect that one of them talked to Dennis Rodman. That's my theory. Because I think they said it wasn't influenced by it, but there's no way it's not influenced by the fact that Dennis Rodman is friends with him. Dennis Rodman, for those who don't know, is he was on the Chicago Bulls.
Friends with Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, Kim Jong-un, yeah. He's been there a few times and like hung out with him. like Kim Jong Un has invited him to go to North Korea.
Huh.
And I'm convinced that this movie was in some part based on that.
I could believe it. To be fair, also apparently in the original iteration that Seth Rogen and writing partner had made, it was supposed to be his dad, not Kim Jong Un, was who it was focused on. Yeah, but he died, and so they had to like rewrite it.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently I'm just reading. Apparently where a bunch of the fears came from was that a North Korean government threatened action against the United States if Sony released the film, which is why it got delayed for so long and then got re-edited to make it more acceptable to North Korea.
Yeah. And I just have seen interviews of Seth Rogen being like, it was really heartbreaking because it was an all-right movie.
Sony's computer systems were hacked by the Guardians of Peace, which is a cybercrime group allegedly connected to the North Korean government, which threatened terrorist attacks.
Yeah. It was one of those like just enough of a close shave that it wasn't worth it kind of deals.
Yeah, but at the same time, it also kind of makes you wonder how much of what was said happened, like the hacks and stuff like that, actually happened, and how much of it was like press.
Enough of it did. I like. The Sony hacks did happen. The Sony hacks are the reason why a lot of that shit happened. But I've seen some of the emails. Like, for example, like, and to be fair, was it great? No, but it did prevent some truly bad movies from coming out. So, like, and it also prevented some, like, interesting movies. But that's where you found out that they were going to do, at one point, they were working on a 21 Jump Street Men in Black crossover.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. I was in one of those email exchanges.
Interesting.
Amy Pascal, yeah.
Interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna
not like Will Smith Men in Black though. I don't think Will Smith was gonna be involved, but
look, I'm not gonna say that I don't enjoy this movie. It's stupid and it's
I
fun.
think Randall Park is severely underrated. I think he's the guy who plays Kim Jong Un.
He does a fantastic job.
Asian Jim.
Yeah. He does a very good job.
He is really funny. Like a lot of my favorite shit. I mean, there's a really funny. Asian Jim's funny. I loved him and Ant-Man. Him and Ant-Man. So he's hilarious in Ant-Man. There's a really funny behind the scenes thing when they were doing that movie If, where they pretended that they had him be Asian. They had him be John Krasinski again. That was really funny. His show Fresh Off the Boat, if you've never seen Fresh Off the Boat, is really funny. That show's really funny.
And one of the things in this movie, which, I mean, I appreciate that he's such a good sport, is in the beginning of the movie where they're interviewing Eminem. And he's like, I guess when I say in my lyrics, I say such and such thing, what I'm really trying to say is I'm gay. And they're like, wait. When you say you're gay, I like men. I'm homosexual. I'm attracted to other men, and like the fact that he's such a good sport about that is just kind of
my
fun.
favorite Eminem bit is from Funny People, where it's Ray Romano and the Adam Sandler character having dinner or whatever, and Marshall or Eminem sitting across the room and he won't stop staring at Ray Romano. And Ray Romano just pleasantly like, "Oh hey Marshall, how's it going?" And he's like, "What's your issue, Ray? Do you want to fuck me?" And it's just the way he says it makes me laugh every time. Do you want to fuck me? No.
But there's that. Yeah, if this had come out at a different time and a different place, I honestly think it would have done a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been. Certainly, I don't know if it would be remembered as well, if not for everything that surrounded it. That's for sure. It's hard to say though. With James Franco movies, you're just like, I don't know. They have such a.
It's more of a Seth Rogen movie. But... Yeah,
but I would say they're co-leads if anything.
No, I more mean because it was directed by Seth Rogen.
He directed it?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I
didn't
know that.
It was produced and directed by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg.
That explains why it was.
This was their second directorial work after This Is the End.
I guess that explains why they. Because yeah, I've seen a bunch of interviews where he talks about how bummed out about what happened with that movie. That explains why.
And it was the screenplay was written by Dan Sterling, which he based on a story he co-wrote with Rogen and Goldberg. So this was very much a Seth Rogen film.
Yeah, but again, Franco's the lead.
James Franco just happened to be there. But he's not. He's. I would say he's co-lead because Seth Rogen is also there and is very important to the story.
Yeah, but yeah, a lot of those movies are fucked because they have James Franco in them. You can't do anything with them because James Franco is blacklisted. Like even,
I don't know why. What did he do?
He taught I mean, the short version is he got Me Too'd, but the slightly longer version is he taught an acting class. I can say this because he admitted to it, but where he would sleep with students. He would use his fact that he's James Franco and authority as a teacher to sleep with younger.
Oh, worse.
Students. Yeah, and I think there might have been some sort of assault there, but that was definitely one of them. Like, he came out and was like, yeah, I did that, and I'm a piece of shit. And Seth Rogen is no longer, they no longer speak as a result. So a lot of like...
Unfortunate.
So, like, for the people who want, like, Pineapple Express 2, or This Is the End 2, or the second, you could tell. The big thing with this was, when this was coming out, the run-up to it, they were doing that thing where they were trotting out this character. Well, you could tell the gag was going to be he was going to do interviews in character as this character and all this shit with it, and they couldn't promote it. They couldn't do anything with it, and yeah, they inevitably it got shuffled off to digital at a time where being on digital was bad. Worse than it is now.
Here's my opinion of what they should do, and because I think it would be funny and just to never address it. Anytime you want to do a sequel to something that James Franco was in, put his younger brother.
Put Dave Franco in instead.
Put Dave Franco in, and never acknowledge the fact that he's not James Franco.
I mean,
have him play the same character. Try and do it as close as possible, and just have it be the younger brother.
That's not going to work in this case because isn't Dave Franco in that movie?
No.
I thought he was.
No.
But they're still friends because I think he's been in some stuff with Dave Franco after that. So they've worked
Movie
together.
has James Franco, Seth Rogen, Lizzie Kaplan, Randall Park, Diana Bang, Timothy Shimmons, Reese Alexander, Anders Holm. No, I don't see.
No Dave Franco.
You got Ben Schwartz as Daryl.
Jordan. Is that it?
But I don't see any. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize. Oh, they're in title cards for Skylark. That's why. There's a bunch of cameo appearances from actors, real life actors, and I see on here it's got Emma Stone, and I was like, Emma Stone's not in this movie, but I guess it's one of those like on the Skylark Tonight Show where it flashes through the different celebrities that he interviews, and I just must have missed that one.
Jordan,
yeah, no, that's it for the interview.
So Jordan, this next one, up until recently, was the most viewed movie on Netflix of all time.
Space Jam?
And I refuse to believe that. It is a movie called Red Notice. And it stars The Rock. It stars Ryan Reynolds. And it stars Gal Gadot. And The Rock is a FBI agent. And Ryan Reynolds is a thief. And they're trying to get these 3... eggs that were made by Cleopatra because this billionaire wants them for his daughter's wedding. And Ryan Reynolds is a thief, and Gal Gadot is another thief called the Bishop, and she always seems to be one step ahead of them. And it's an action movie, and it's kind of dull, and there's nothing really all that interesting about it. And The Rock has been framed, and it's been made to look like he's a thief, even though he's not a thief. He's a police agent. But the Interpol couldn't find any information on him in the system. So he's on the run because he's being framed by the Bishop. And
the Bishop of Canada?
The Bishop that is Gal Gadot. And they're all... The number one thing about this is, number one, it is the most bland action movie you will ever see. They're all themselves. Gal Gadot is Gal Gadot. The Rock is The Rock. Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds. None of them are acting. None of their performances are very good. But the most annoying thing is, okay, when you're writing a movie script, I'm not a movie writer, but as a casual viewer, this is the one thing I'm going to say. Not every character can be the sassy one. You know what I mean? Like not.
You need to have, if you're gonna have, well, if you're gonna have a sassy, you need to have a straight man.
Right, exactly. They can't all be the quippy, sassy one. They can't all be saying a joke. One of them has to be the serious one. They can't all be the quippy one. They're all doing quips. They're all doing jokes. They're all doing these things. Yeah, these lines that are one-liners that are terrible, that are not funny, that are not clever, and they're all doing them, and they're all bad. And so I'm gonna spoil the hell out of this movie because the big twist is that, oh, first of all, don't waste your time watching this movie. This movie's crap. There's way better of each of these people in these movies. But yeah, the Gal Gadot keep popping in and out, and she seems to know everything about everything. And I won't lie, I had seen this clip out of context before, but I had completely forgot about it. So it did kind of rug pull me a little bit, where the big twist is that it turns out that, oh, big spoiler, the Rock is actually an art thief, because the whole time is that Ryan Reynolds he's now the number 2 art thief, and he wants to be the number 1 art thief, but this bishop is causing him to become the number 2 art thief. And so he gives this like big tragic backstory where his dad was a cop who didn't believe him when he said that he didn't steal this one thing, and that caused him to become a thief. And so then The Rock and Ryan Reynolds bond over this story where The Rock is like, yeah, my dad was also a thief and I hated him, so it caused me to become a cop. And yeah, big twist. It turns out that The Rock is actually been a jewel thief the whole time, and him and Gal Gadot are actually a couple. And The Rock is like, yeah, there's 2 bishops on the chessboard. You always have 2 bishops. More than 1 bishop. And the reason why Gal Gadot has been able to outsmart them this whole time is because The Rock has been helping her and been giving her information. And it makes the entire movie not make any sense and completely fall apart. Because you're like, wait, but what? And so then they turn in they give the eggs to the millionaire and they screw him over and turn him into the police and keep the money. And then the movie very arrogantly ends on Ryan Reynolds being like, so I've tipped off the Interpol agent who's been chasing after us the whole movie. You can either stay here and get caught, or we can do a big team up and set up for a sequel that's never coming. Because apparently Ryan Reynolds is just a real prick on set. Like, I've heard this a few times, and the stuff with Robert Downey Jr. apparently, if that is true, but yeah, apparently he made some crack about how The Rock is bald, and then pissed The Rock off. So they were supposed to do like a bunch of these, and the second one just evaporated. It hasn't happened.
That doesn't entirely surprise me. He seems like the type who, like, he would make a joke, and then it would offend someone, but instead of just doing the easy thing of apologizing, he would just double down on the joke and never apologize. That seems like the type of person that he is.
Well, it's because it's funny because I made fun of poor T.J. Miller, and don't get me wrong, he's also a piece of shit. He did a bunch of bad sexually related sex pest crimes, but he said that the reason why he wasn't in, he didn't do number 3. I mean, beyond
Deadpool 3.
Why he stopped being involved in that franchise was because during the first one, I think which one he said it was, Ryan Reynolds said something really mean in character as Deadpool. Like they'd finished shooting for the day. Ryan was like, let's go one more time, do one more take. And like, he said something, I think he said it was something to the effect of like, oh, you think you're the star? You're not the star, I'm the star, kind of thing. Where he just said something really, really mean as Deadpool. So yeah, I could believe that he would do that he would say something really mean and passive aggressive in character that was really mean. Like, he does strike me as that kind of guy. I've had friends or I have coworkers interacting with people like him, so not knowing him, that is a believable turn I could see happening.
It wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, it would not shock me. But yeah, the number one thing about this movie is it's just I refuse to believe it was the number one watched movie. Like there was a joke on the Weekly Planet. They would say that you watch they watch it at least once a week. That's why it is. But it's like it's just such a. It's not. It's. I wish it were worse because then I wish it was as weird and bad as that Pinocchio movie was, because that was at least interesting to talk about. This is like, yeah, it's not even the best rock movie. Like he's just none of them are invested in it. The one who's the best, honestly, when I remember when I watched Snow White, it made me go, is Gal Gadot a bad actress? And this one made me go, well, she does kind of have a kind of charm to her. But yeah, again, it's annoying when they're all doing quips and jokes. Like they're all doing they all want to be Ryan Reynolds. All of them. They all do. Every character in this movie has a quippy one-liner, and none of them are clever or funny. I can't like to the point that I can't remember a single one. I guess maybe the funniest bit is there's a bit where they wind up in a bullfighting ring, and there's a CGI bull, a really obviously CGI bull, and Ryan Reynolds is like, "Don't run," and he's like, "No, I'm pretty sure I have to run." He's like, "No, don't run."
I think that I think I remember seeing that. That's in the trailer, I believe.
He's like, "They're attracted to movement, so if you run, you're dead. Don't run." And then he doesn't run. The bull takes him, sends him flying sends a CGI The Rock flying like he's a cartoon character. And he's like, are you sure that wasn't in Jurassic Park? No, it was not in a Richard Attenborough documentary. Are you sure you're thinking of I saw it in a David Attenborough documentary. Are you thinking of Richard Attenborough, the actor? Oh no, it was Jurassic Park. That bit was pretty funny. It is otherwise, yeah, really agitating. Like there's a couple of dramatic scenes that are just undercut by The Rock doing worse versions of what Ryan Reynolds does. And that's not to give any Ryan Reynolds any undue credit. It's just they're all doing the same bit, and it's just not funny. It's just not funny.
It would make it tiresome. I could see that.
That's Red Notice. There's a reason why it's called Red Notice. Something to do with the FBI chasing you or something.
Well, okay. So my last rapid fire, and this is where the Netflix movies begin. Have you ever heard of a movie called The Sea Beast?
Actually, so it's what's funny is I did end up looking this up. So on today's show, we are going to be talking about most of the 2023 Best Animated Feature nominations. So it was this, Pinocchio, Puss in Boots, I think Wish, and then one other thing that you've never heard of. But so these are three movies that were nominated for Best Animated Picture in 2023. Which
So you have heard of this one?
I have. So when it was in your list, I'm like, I recognize this movie name for some reason, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was also nominated for Best Picture the same year as Puss in Boots and Pinocchio, and it was, which I thought was funny.
So,
is this Best Picture worthy, Jordan, or Best Animated Picture?
Okay. So, in order to answer that, I have to say it depends on how much you like How to Train Your Dragon.
I mean, quite a bit.
Because
Ryan in the Dark, another selling point for that movie, just real quickly, also written by the people who wrote How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah, this apparently got nominated for Best Animated Feature. Anyway, it also had a limited theatrical release.
Yeah, it gets that so it can get nominated for an Oscar. This Pinocchio also got a limited theatrical release as well for that, because in order to be nominated for an Oscar, you have to have a theatrical run.
But I mean, it's
one of the rules.
It's fine. It's not. I don't know how to word
It's really
this.
artsy fartsy and like a lot of like visual like symbolism and not a lot of dialogue. That's the kind of movie
like it sort of feels like if you took Moby Dick and combined it with How to Train Your Dragon.
Wait, it's Moby Dick but with dragons again?
Kind of. They are sea monsters, but so over the course of the movie, yeah, you have the ship of
that's pretty funny.
Monster hunters, who they end up competing with this other ship because they're going to get decommissioned or whatever. So one of our main guys is like a very famous monster hunter who ends up running into this little orphan girl who stows away on their ship, and then him and the orphan girl end up getting lost at sea, and so the ship thinks they're dead, and so they're even more determined to hunt down this giant red monster, which had a name. I don't remember what it was.
Elmo.
No, it was called something. Anyways, um, and they the red one, Bluster. It's called a red Bluster. Um, ends up saving them and taking them to this island, which is full of other monsters, and that's where they end up learning that, oh, the monsters aren't actually bad. They're defending themselves. That's the only reason why they attack humans, is because at some point in the past humans started attacking them. So they started attacking back, and that's where the war began. So that's where I say, sure. So that's where I say, in that regard, it just feels like How to Train Your Dragon.
Is the animation pretty?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely evokes like that dream that How to Train Your Dragon good DreamWorks style. Like it doesn't feel cheap, I guess is what I would say. Like it feels like a nicely animated, like it's well made. And it's not a bad movie by any means, but it's just, I guess the best way to put it is, knowing that it got nominated for an Oscar, it feels like that was the goal.
Gotcha.
Like it's one of those kind of movies where it's like, it felt like it wanted to win something.
Oh, yeah.
Or it had something. It had something to prove. I don't know. Maybe that's just my perspective. Maybe you would feel differently if you watched it.
For your consideration.
That being said, it doesn't, in terms of voice cast, it doesn't have any names that I necessarily recognize. You'll probably go like, really, that person? You know that person. The main guy is Carl Urban.
Yeah, Carl Urban. That's Judge Dredd. These bones in Star Trek.
Him. Okay.
You know who Carl is.
He's that one dude from the Marvel movie, Black Panther.
What? Carl Urban isn't in Black Panther.
Isn't he? He looked like that one guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, I do recognize him. He's Gollum.
What? No.
Isn't he in Lord of the Rings?
No. Carl Urban is Judge Dredd.
Sorry, he's Eomer. Eomer in Lord of the Rings.
Carl Urban is in Lord of the Rings.
I know he is. I'm looking at his Wikipedia.
But he's Bones from Star Trek.
I haven't seen that recently enough to recognize him as that. Anyways,
the new Star Trek.
And then there's a bunch of other names here, but yeah, no, it was fine. I don't know. It didn't pass the phone test, I guess is the best way to put it.
Fair.
So I can't say that it's been like my favorite thing this week.
I understand.
But it's not the worst thing. It's fine.
All right. Jordan.
It's not bad enough that I want to add it to your list because I think it would be punishment, but it's also not good enough that I want to add it to your list because I think you'll really, really enjoy it. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just gonna keep adding shit. I have 8, by the way. You have to catch up.
Well, I mean, let's just put it this way, Justin. If you add more than 8 and keep adding more, that means that we can have a follow-up episode.
Oh no, I'm gonna keep adding stuff.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just being very particular. Although I did think of 2 things that I want to add, but I'm gonna say them off the stream because I don't want to give it all away.
Don't want to give away the game. Okay, Jordan, is that it?
Yep. That was my last rapid fire.
So this next one, we actually talked about this on the show before. We talked about the trailer. This is one of those rare times where we talked about the trailer and we're actually doing it on the show.
That doesn't happen.
That rarely happens. This is, and it's not its own special. It's just part of the show. It's not its own special section. This is, we talked about it. It's the movie Fixed. Do you remember?
Oh, that's the one where the dog is getting fixed, right?
Yes. And the trailer was all censored, and you're like, I think the movie will probably be all censored. It wasn't. You saw a whole bunch of balls, just like a whole this swinging pair of balls.
Justin, Justin, Justin. When they're on dogs like that, they're called
A
testicles.
swinging pair of testicles.
Where are my testicles, Summer?
Where are my testicles, Summer? So yes, this movie is about a dog named Bull, who is very cute when he is adopted, but 2 years later, he's a menace. He will not stop humping Grandma's leg, and he's just horny all the time. All he wants to do is bang, and there's a really funny scene. Maybe it's because I'm currently dog sitting, or we are currently dog sitting, that there's just a lot of jokes that, oh man, this is a hard movie to talk about. So okay, we'll do the general stuff first before I get into the specifics. So it's about Bull. He is discovered that he is going to be neutered the next day, and he does not want to lose his testicles.
I mean, so who does? Who wants to lose their testicles?
Him and his friends go out partying on the town, and it's them going for his last hurrah. And it's got a big celebrity voice cast. Idris Elba.
So basically, it's the dog version of a bachelor party.
Pretty much, yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah. And he is in love with his next door neighbor, who is a purebred show dog, who is secretly in love with him. And yeah, it is gnarly, man. It is a wild movie. It is made by the guy Genndy Tartakovsky, who, if you don't know his name, you know him. He made such animated shows as Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, the animated Clone Wars, the 2D animated Clone Wars.
Oh, snap.
He's got, apparently it's quite good, a show called Primal, which I've heard is quite good. He did the Hotel Transylvania movies, a bunch of stuff you know. And apparently he's been wanting to make this for years. For years. His concept of it was just like a bunch of dogs that were a group of friends hanging out. That's where the idea came from. And yeah, it is an R-rated movie. There's boobs, there's sex, there's violence, there's a bit where they maul a bunch of squirrels that's really violent. There's a point where there's quite a funny scene, again, that may only be funny to me because I've been dog sitting, but there's a funny bit where all the dogs are talking about how they like to fuck with their owners, and the one dog's like, I love it when I go out and I take a shit and my owner only brings one bag, and then I take up a second follow-up shit because the dog we're dog sitting absolutely
she does that.
So fucking annoying. There's a part where the one dog's like, I love to stand in one spot and sniff for 15 minutes, and I'm like, holy shit, this is so fucking relatable. What the hell?
I feel called out.
And it's very much like, it's by way of like Ren and Stimpy, but Ren and Stimpy
ripping friends.
Yeah, but like adult time cartoon Ren and Stimpy. So there's a bit when they go to the dog park, there's a bit where there's these dogs, they just start doing it, and they're like, oh, we're doing it human style, which made me laugh. That did make me laugh. They wind up at this dog lady of the night house,
strip joint,
and yeah, there's a couple of really weird grossness. There's a character who he's another purebred dog, show dog, and the whole bit is the Bull wants to stop them from getting together, and so she wins, and at the end of it's funny because this has popped up as a bit in both Family Guy and this, but like when the female dog wins, she gets bred, and so she's about to get bred, and Bull jumps into in the way of her getting bred, and they're having this like heart to heart, I love you, I've always loved you since we were kids conversation, while he's being bred by the dog. Like
sorry, what?
The Bull is, I don't know, Jordan, I don't know how to say it in a YouTube friendly way, but
he's being propagated.
Bred just seemed like the most. He's being done in the back door by this guy who doesn't seem to realize that he's not doing it with the girl, and so Bull and the girl end up getting together, and she has his puppies right before he's about to get neutered, and you see that she's had his puppies, and it ends with the purebred guy. He's about to get neutered, and the way the dog's like, the way you could tell that you're about to get neutered, or you're about to get your balls chopped off, is your owner will out of nowhere be really nice to you. They'll be really nice to you. They'll treat you really nicely. They'll give you a bunch of your favorite treats. And then one guy's like, yeah, they literally filled the toilet bowl up with Kool-Aid. And that kind of made me went, wait, is that a thing? Okay, dog owners. Like, I've never owned a dog. Any dog I've ever had has come prefixed, as it were. So I've never had an intact dog before who I was going to unintact. Is that a thing that you do? Like, oh, this is just legit. Like, this is like, hey, let me know in the comments. Like, did you give your dog like a toilet bowl full of like Kool-Aid? Is that a thing you can do? Can dogs eat Kool-Aid? Drink Kool-Aid? Like, are you allowed to do that? Is that good for them?
Or like some other reward, fill it up with something else. Like,
but like if I were 12, not even if I were 12, 11, 12 years old, I would have thought this movie was fucking hilarious. It's a Genndy Tartakovsky thing. So his animation is always good looking. Like, none of his cartoons from the 90s have become dated in terms of their animation. Like Dexter's Lab, like when I watched Ego Trip, it still looks great. And those shows I think they're pushing 20 years old. Like, they're pretty old and they still look great.
I mean, 2D animation holds up very well. It's
beautifully animated, but it really does look like a Ren and Stimpy cartoon, like from like the 90s. Like, if this movie had come out in the 90s, I think maybe it probably would have been more popular. And as a juvenile, like as a person who loves juvenile humor, like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I will laugh at a fart joke or a dick joke. I will laugh at that. I won't lie and say I didn't laugh, but it is gross. It is that we talked about it when we got our asses shadow banned, or I got our asses shadow banned talking about those bad R-rated cartoons. Like, yeah, it's like a gross, unpleasant at times R-rated cartoon where it's like, ooh, this is kind of gross. But I won't lie and say it's not funny. I'm teetering on adding it to your list because I think I'm curious as to what. But I've already got Post-Apocalypto on there, and that already feels like punishment enough. So I don't know. I might leave it open as a you can if you want, but I can't wholeheartedly recommend this to regular people because it is gross. If you like gross humor, like gross R-rated cartoon humor, if you're off put by cartoons doing sex stuff, then this is not going to be for you. That's fixed. Weird movie. Jordan, would you watch it on your own? I guess I should ask that. Does this sound appealing to you in any conceivable way?
It's one that I'd probably throw on in the background and half watch it while I was doing something else.
I think I would have laughed. I laughed at the weirdly specific dog jokes because,
like, if I had to treat it as like a main event one where I put it on the TV and focused on nothing but it, I would probably enjoy it way less than if it was a rapid fire scenario where I can do other things.
I feel like I probably wouldn't have had as much fun with it had I not been dog sitting. I think I would have found it.
I could see that.
There are some jokes in there that are weird and specific that I think that if you're a dog owner and you can handle, like Jake, you would probably dig this. This is kind of right in our sense of humor. Jake. I mean, he's never been anti-dick and fart humor. I mean, he likes... We talked about South Park on Average Intelligence. He likes dick and fart humor. If you like dick and fart humor, then this is going to be for you. That's my ultimate final thing. That's fixed. That's the end.
So, moving on to have scenes.
Moving on to them have scenes.
So, this movie came out in 2019, but it's a continuation of a series which was canceled in 2002. This movie is Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus.
Yeah, but isn't... to be fair, I want to start this by saying this myself. I don't actually like Invader Zim. You've tried to force me to watch it a couple times, and I kind of find it annoying.
It's one where...
I've seen this movie. Like, I sat there and I watched it with you, because that was the point when we were sharing the TV, and that was the one you chose, and I remember it being agonizing. It's just agonizing.
It's a movie which is... how do I word this? Um, it's Gen Z humor before Gen Z humor was a thing.
Yeah, like I
Is
isolated.
kind of
I've
is kind of
seen.
how I would word it.
Like it's.
It's a movie where as like I won't lie and say I didn't laugh at stuff in it this time. But it's
You
definitely a TV movie,
you didn't like it
and
the first
it's
time,
definitely
right? I remember you not liking it the
I,
first time.
yeah, I seem to remember the first time I watched it, it kind of being like it it misses the show. Like
It it didn't.
it's not the same.
I recall it being like, well, to be fair, yeah, it's like I do think the original writers of that show were involved in it. Like I do think that it was
Yeah,
really
I
made by
believe
the people.
so.
Like it, like I don't want to disparage
Reading
it too bad. When I said when I like it sounds like I'm shitting on. It's just not for me. Like it's really just not
reading
for me. But I appreciate it
reading
for what it
about
is.
it, reading about it, it was the movie was conceived after several discussions between Nickelodeon and Vasquez, who I think Vasquez is the
Yeah, he's
creator,
the creator. Yeah.
um, on creating an Invader Zim revival after its cancellation.
This has that
Um,
vibe. This has the like it's gauging for. I'm guessing this didn't do very well in terms of like its success on Netflix because it definitely had that vibe of yeah
it's hard to say. It
we
doesn't
want
really. There's no way to
we
measure it.
you know how Netflix has like their they're doing like kind of like how Disney Plus and Hulu did this is season 14 of it kind of felt like that where they were gunning for like a new season of Invader Zim which is basically a soft reboot kind of deal which it sounds like
Well,
that's what it was.
reading about the conception and stuff, um, the
But it felt like just
it
like
was
a longer episode of the show.
it was greenlit after many talks of a revival. But Vasquez had been developing projects, yada yada yada, and so the higher ups at Nickelodeon became more supportive of the idea around 2015 2016 when Invader Zim comics started.
Yeah, yeah, because I believe he also wrote the
So
comics.
Vasquez became more receptive towards it. And apparently, Nickelodeon wanted a new television series, but Vasquez suggested a 6 episode miniseries instead, and then changed his mind to a television film
Oh,
because it would be,
interesting.
quote, infinitely less stressful.
Yeah, he sounds like one of those
Um,
temperamental creators that's difficult to deal with, and you're just like, just make the thing, and they're like, but it has to be made exactly this. But them being weird in particular like that leads to better stuff because I think this movie's well received from what I recall. Like fans of Invader Sim like that movie for the most part.
well, from what I remember, because why I ended up watching it. I believe Michael, friend of the show, Michael, he was a fan of Invader Zim, and he came to D&D one time and said how there was going to be a movie and how he was excited about it. Which then, when it came out, I went and I watched it because of that.
From what I
And
recall, now correct me if I'm wrong, the
and
original show.
from what I remember at the time when we watched it the first time, I don't think I had watched any of the show at that point.
I thought you had.
I'm pretty sure. No, I'm pretty sure the very first time I watched it, I believe I watched this independently and then retroactively went back and watched some of the
But
show.
doesn't the original show like end on a cliffhanger?
Oh, it doesn't end. It just does. It just got canceled. It
Because
doesn't have an ending.
the whole thing with this movie was people thought it from what I recall, and I could be recalling it correctly, but wasn't it like everyone thought that this was going to be like a big sequel, like kind of
Well,
dealio,
everybody,
and when it was just kind of more of the same, people were disappointed.
yeah, everybody thought that it was going to be like an ending, an actual ending, like the
Yeah,
series finale, and it's not. It's just kind of more of the same.
yeah,
The most that it does is in the beginning of it, they poke fun at the fact that it's come back. So the human boy character Dib, he's been keeping an eye out for Zim, who has disappeared for like years, and so he's gotten all fat and stuff, and part of the movie is him going through like a training montage to get himself back in shape. And there's a whole joke about how he gets too in shape and he's like ripped and muscular and stuff. But then you find out that Zim has just been like planning his big plan while sitting in a toilet for years. So it's like they poke fun at the fact that it got canceled and that it kind of just stopped and he just
yeah.
disappeared.
He's just like my least
But
favorite Richard Horvitz character, which is screamy Richard Horvitz. I just can't. He's so annoying. I won't lie and
Yeah,
say though that like it's funny you say Gen Z because it kind of reminds me of Teen Titans Go in the sense that like isolated in clips on like TikTok or YouTube or whatever. I won't lie and say there hasn't been the occasional um, Invader Zim line that has made me laugh. Like one of my favorites is the we gotta do this. Yay! No, Gert, that's bad. Oh.
yeah. Zur, or Gur. He's one of the characters that makes that show funny. And that's where I say part of my, not issue per se, but part of the thing with this movie, um, and you can tell that it was a made for TV movie, just from the run length, but it's only 71 minutes long. But um, part of the thing with this movie that I found as I was watching it is Invader Zim, the characters don't lend well to a movie.
No.
They're more, you watch them in 20-minute blocks and you're done kind of
Right.
characters.
Because
Like
they're not
that's
really
why they
characters.
work.
They're just a vehicle to tell jokes.
They're caricatures. So like he's very much like a parody of the invader alien who's supposed to be like really cool, but he like how most alien stuff the alien is really badass and cool. But like the point of Zim is he's like nobody likes it. You know how you say you don't like Zim?
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah. I
His
know.
own leaders don't like him. That's why he's on Earth. He got banished to Earth because he was incompetent
It's
and
his delivery.
nobody likes him. So
I think it's the, to
that's
be
the
fair. I
point.
also don't like Dib. I remember sitting here watching this movie, being like, "This is agonizing. I can't stand a second of this."
Dib is also supposed to be an unlikable loser who's obsessed with aliens.
Like I've
So
seen the
again,
occasional
him
episode. And,
him
yeah,
being
never.
unlikable is also kind of the point. The problem with the movie is that because it's when the creator was making this movie, he wanted to make sure that like a person who hadn't watched the show could still watch this movie. So he
I hate that.
limits how many characters from the show are in it as a result. So you're forced to stick with more Zim and Dib than you really get in the show.
Yeah, but yeah, I know.
Like as a result.
I hate that because it's like no, I hate people who I want to make this thing for. Always make it for the people who watch the show.
Make it for the
Always
fans.
people make it for the people who watch the show because like when you make it for people who don't watch the show, it satisfies nobody because the people who don't watch the show aren't going to start with the movie. They're going to start with the show. So they're not going to watch it anyway, and it's just going to be a half-hearted version of but I don't know. Yeah, you let us know. Maybe there are diehard fans of this movie. I seem to recall like fans do like this movie, but I am not that tuned into Invader Zim. But I do know it has a very passionate fan base.
Like I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest fan of Invader Zim in the world, but like if I see clips of it, they make me laugh. Like
Yeah.
they're fun enough. It's just it's really the best way I can articulate it, which is funny because it comes out in 2002, which is very much from my time period.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely, yeah.
it just really is Gen Z humor before Gen Z humor is a thing.
I've never liked Invader Zim. When I was, what you said, 2002, 12, yeah, when that show was like contemporary, I hate the arts, I hated the, like, it's funny, a lot of,
Oh,
like,
it's not even that it was popular in 2002 is when it was canceled. So it was out before 2002.
oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, I,
Hold on, let's
now
find
that
out when it
I'm
actually
older,
came
and I
out.
have the words to say this, I hated the art style. I hated the art style so much, and I still hate the art style. I think it looks ugly, and yeah, I hate Zim. I think Zim's annoying. I've never
Oh wow,
liked him.
it wasn't on for very long. So it first was released March 30th, 2001, and according to this, it says it goes until December 10th, 2002.
I
But
can't.
then
As I got older, I can't stand those really high, speedy, like they like speed through all of their lines, like they're moving like at 1,000 miles per hour.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I can't stand it. Can't stand it.
I am Zim.
There's probably gonna be a YouTube video called "I don't like Invader Zim," and then you're gonna be a bunch of like, gonna get a bunch of people who feel the need to be like, oh, an adult who doesn't like a children's cartoon. It's like, oh, I was a child when that show was out, and I didn't like it then either.
Yeah, this was one of those ones where there was just certain shows which just it didn't hit me at the time.
Uh,
Like it wasn't for me at the time. This was one of those.
This is like
Um,
Rocket Power. Never cared for Rocket Power.
there was a few shows where it was like I remember them being big at the time and didn't really do it for me, and this was one of them. To be fair, it wasn't until like
Oh, you
years
know what we need to
later
do?
that
Real quick.
it wasn't until years later when I was an adult that I discovered like shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender or Naruto. Those were shows that were definitely out when I was a kid, but I didn't watch them as a kid.
No, no, me neither. So, you know what? This should have been. I should have included this in the news, but we'll do it real quickly here, real quick. Did you hear that they shut down Family Guy? Not Family Guy. Family Channel.
Family Channel, I heard that.
And
Yeah.
I was gonna make a video about it, but I couldn't think of a good way to articulate. How do you explain what a filler channel is, or what a commercial channel is to the youth?
A commercial channel?
Like, you know, the channel you would change it to when it was a commercial because it didn't have any commercials.
Oh, a backup channel.
The backup channel. I'm like, that was the thing about
Yeah,
Family Channel.
I'm watching something on channel 25 YTV. I'm watching Reboot on YTV and a commercial comes on and I want to watch something, but like I don't want to watch the commercials, but I want to change it to a channel that I know is always going to have something playing that I can just have to
Exactly.
fill in between, that has things that I've watched hundreds of times, so I can just watch a portion of it and not really care. That was Family Channel.
That was Family Channel, and it's funny because in this video I saw they interviewed I think it was the guy who played Derek, and he was like, "Yeah, man, that in this day and age, that's a hard channel to run. I get why they shut it down because yeah, in a world where it ran without ads, that channel ran without ads." And that,
I don't even know. I don't know how it stayed afloat for as long as it did.
I mean, I feel about the way about a lot of those Canadian basic cable channels. Apparently, also Nelvana is also shutting down, which is that's a Canadian institution. But they said that Family Channel doesn't have commercials, which isn't entirely true because it did.
They advertised their own Disney
yeah,
stuff.
they had internal commercials. So sometimes when you were flipping over to it, you'd get unlucky and you'd be like, ah, man, it's in its commercial time. It was in the 20s. From 20 to 30 was where for that like 10 minutes, if they played their own internal commercials, and you'd be watching television and it'd be a commercial and you flip over to channel. And the best part was the comments. The comments were like, channel 25, channel 50, and channel 51. That was my childhood, baby.
Those were my
And
childhood.
I was like, holy shit! Those were the
until
channels!
Until I got slightly older, and then you added channel 32, which was Spike.
Spike
and Space.
Or no, Space is 45. Space was 45.
Oh, Space was 45,
and,
right.
Showcase was that was for the spicy stuff.
That was 39. They had the
39.
things that
And
they had the
then,
things that you had to pretend that you weren't watching from your parents.
Right, and then they had the HBO. I think was 41. Yeah. I remember like the best was
And
like 25, 25, 50, and 51. Yeah, that Teletoon, YTV, and Family Channel respectively.
I think if I remember correctly, Discovery Channel was 42.
Sure, yeah, Discovery Channel was 42, and then PBS was 26.
Yes.
The kids that was for all of the millennials and older in the audience. The kids don't get that.
And Channel 2 was the guide.
And Channel 2 was the guide. Yeah. Kids back in the day, you had to sit there and watch a specific channel to figure out what was going to be on TV. This has been back in the day with Spur of the Moment.
Back in my childhood.
Yeah, I wanted to make a video about it, and I was like, how do you explain to people the concept of the backup channel? And then in America, did you guys have your own backup channel?
Then you would go to your rich friend or your rich relative's house, and they would have like satellite, and you could like scroll through hundreds of channels, and yet nothing would ever be on.
Right, or cable TV, and then cable TV. That was how back in the day, and this is how old this is. That was when the CW was WB, and I can't remember what the other channel. UPN. It was WB and UPN, and they merged, and that's what became the CW.
I didn't know that.
One of the channels you can get was WB, and I
Kids,
remember
WB yourself.
Kids WB yourself, and I remember I'm old enough. I remember first starting to watch Smallville when it was on WB before it became the CW. Anyway,
we're just that old.
We're just that old. That has been back in the day. But no, my question was for the Americans in the audience. Did you guys have your own backup channels? like your like go to like I'd watch this during commercials channel? Like do you guys have
Was
those in
that a
America?
thing?
Was that a
Was
thing?
that Disney Channel for you?
I feel like that would be Disney Channel, right? But Family Channel was good because it wasn't always just kids stuff. Like sometimes they had the slightly
They had like
older
how
stuff.
Are You Afraid of the Dark and
Yeah.
stuff like that too.
Well, I mean the ABC Family stuff, you know, the You Wish, the Teen Angel, Boy Meets World, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I had to bring that up because I was like,
So that was Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus.
Speaking of back in the day, Enter the Florpus. What should I do, Jordan? Let's do it. Let's round out our 2023 Oscar Best Animated Oscar Animated Pictures. And what I feel is objectively the best Shrek movie. Just in terms of it's the best movie. It's the best movie that involves a character from Shrek, and that's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, a movie I feel is, despite being nominated for an Oscar, severely underrated. It is a phenomenally good movie. Not only is it beautifully animated, well performed. I believe you could watch that movie having never watched the Shrek movie or Puss in Boots movie. It's technically a sequel. It has and I didn't realize this the first time I watched it.
It has the black cat.
The black kitty Softpaws, played by Jennifer Lopez.
Now, that being said, I'm going to be that guy. That's not a Shrek movie.
It technically is a Shrek movie.
It takes
place
not
in the
a
Shrek universe.
It's not a
involves
Shrek
a character
movie.
from Shrek. It is a spin-off of Shrek.
It is not a Shrek movie.
Objectively the best Shrek movie. And
It's not a
It
Shrek
involves a
movie.
character from Shrek, therefore
It's a
Shrek movie.
it's a Puss in Boots movie. It's not a Shrek movie.
It's
not a Shrek movie.
It is in the Shrek universe.
It's a spin-off. That you don't consider a spin-off of a Superman movie that doesn't have Superman in it a Superman movie.
Absolutely, I consider it a Superman
No, you
movie.
don't. No, I'm sorry. It's a Puss in Boots movie, and it's a fantastic Puss in Boots movie.
It is objectively the best movie
but
in
it's
that
not,
franchise.
It's not a Shrek movie.
If you prefer,
the best Shrek movie is still Shrek 1.
If you prefer, okay, worded differently, it is the best movie in the Shrek franchise.
It's not a Shrek movie.
But it's in the Shrek franchise. It is part of the Shrek all of the spin-offs and all of the specials, they are all part of the Shrek franchise.
Pantheon, I guess, if you want to say.
It is the best.
Okay. I'll let you have that.
It is the best movie of the various Shrek movies and specials. It is the best one objectively. It is the one of them that is flat out a good movie.
Until the next Shrek movie.
Until Shrek 5 comes out and it's Oscar worthy. But and I understand that technically speaking, I think Shrek 1, I don't know if it won, but it was also nominated. But it is objectively, in terms of being a movie, the best movie. You don't need to have watched a Shrek movie. You don't even need to have watched the first Puss in Boots movie. It perfectly functions as its own narrative. It does not require you to have seen the other movies. It is a phenomenal movie about fear and about PTSD and about accepting the passage of time. The death is like a great villain. The wolf is a great villain, and the twist that he's death is phenomenal. It's really good. The animation is fucking stunning. All of the fights look good. There isn't a bad piece of animation. The bad guys are again all phenomenal. John Mulaney as Big Jack Horner is so good. Funny. You're an irredeemable monster. Duh.
He's more enjoyable and more fun than in the previous one, the Humpty Dumpty. He's more fun than Humpty Dumpty.
See, that's what's so funny. I totally forgot about the first one. I don't remember a single thing about it except for the one rape joke they do.
I just remember that Humpty Dumpty is in it, and he's the bad guy.
Is he the bad guy? See, I don't remember that movie well enough. You remember more about it than I do. I remember the one joke.
All I remember is him and Puss in Boots grow up at the orphanage together, and then he comes back into Puss in Boots' life and is like, "I need your help to steal something." I don't remember what it was.
And then he screws him over.
And there's a point where he screws him over.
See, I don't remember that. I just remember the one joke where he's like.
Maybe I'm remembering wrong,
no,
but that's what I remember.
I completely believe you. That sounds believable. But no, I just remember the one joke where he's like, you know what they do to eggs in prison? It ain't over easy. And the cat goes, ooh. And
Ooh.
that's the other character that gets to come back in this one is that character, the cat who goes ooh.
Ooh.
He cameos in at one point in the movie. But yeah, no,
No,
that
I remember the wish being like it does a really
it's
good job of showing what a
really.
panic attack
Oh
looks
my
like.
god, what a panic! That when Puss in Boots has the panic, Pedito, the little dog, he is phenomenal. He's adorable. He's hilarious. He is easily like one of the most lovable characters of all time. Um, I love the Goldilocks and the Three Bears gang. They're all hilarious. They're all super funny. She has a really fun character arc of like she's trying to find a real family and accepting found family with them. And I love how like they genuinely like love her, like on with no restriction, no like unconditionally love her. Like I love Mama Bear. She is so great. Baby Bear's great. Yeah, Perdito. He's so good. Like I say, it is stunningly animated. It is 1,000 times better than that fucking Pinocchio movie. I don't care what anyone says.
I agree. Having not seen the Pinocchio one, that the Last Wish is fantastic.
It does not contain any Italian fascism.
I remember us walking away from that one being like, this one is way better than it has any right being.
Did we watch that in theaters?
I think so.
I don't remember watching it in theaters. I think I watched it on my own and I told you needed to.
I don't know. All I know is
I know you've seen it, obviously.
I've seen it, and we both.
I remember saying it's better than it has any right to be, and I think you ended up watching it on Netflix, and then I said you're going to agree with me. It's better than it has any right to be, and then yeah, you agree. It is. It's better than it has any right to be.
It's better than
because again,
considering it originates from Shrek.
It originates from Shrek, right? It's like it's a sequel to a spin-off of Shrek, the first movie of which wasn't very good or memorable. Like nobody remembers that first. But again, that animation style is so good. And to be fair, this is not the first movie to do that animation style. The first one to do that animation style was The Bad Guys, which is also stunningly animated. And then they really I think perfected it in The Wild Robot. But this is where all of the fights, all of the sword fighting is so fluid, and the Antonio Banderas as, I mean, he's always been phenomenal as Puss in Boots, but the subtlety here is so good. And I mean, I know they're making Shrek 5, and I know it's gonna be. I mean, I've never disliked a Shrek movie, like honestly and truly, but my hope would be, number one, I want them to do a sequel to this. I want Perdito to come back. I want Kitty Softpaws to come back. I want the Three Bears and Goldilocks to all come back for a sequel. But my hope, because this ends with they are
far away.
Yeah, they're on a boat, and they steal the boat from the governor, and they're on their way to far away to reconnect with some old friends. So yeah, my hope is that Shrek 5 will in some part continue off of this and be kind of a soft sequel to this, and there's a little bit more heart and a lot less cynicism in. Like, I get that people love the cynicism of Shrek, and that's why people love that movie, ironically. Like, I don't think anyone loves that movie for its heart. I think everyone loves it for its cynicism, and I respect that, because I also love that movie for its cynicism. But yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more heart in Shrek 5. I don't, as much as I joke and I'm like, I want it to be about the memes, I would prefer it be kind of more of a soft sequel to this than a sequel to Shrek 4.
I agree.
And
like, I think it would work well if it was like, maybe it starts from Puss in Boots' point of view of arriving at Shrek, and he kind of incites the incident and like maybe sparks it or kicks it all off or something.
But like, I certainly want Perdito to be in Shrek 5. Like, I want him to be in Shrek 5. He's a character that should be beloved, and he's not.
And then after Shrek 5 comes out, I'd like there to be an official sequel to this where we have it take place from Puss in Boots' point of view, and Shrek also just happens to be
Yeah,
there in the
yeah.
movie.
I'd like a Shrek, I'd like a Shrek and Puss movie that, but it's not a Shrek movie. It's a Puss in Boots movie. But
Yeah,
he's a secondary character. He gets involved somehow. Like, yeah, I feel like this is a really solid springboard for a bit more sincere
that's
version of Shrek. I
yeah.
think and I know there's gonna be people that are gonna come into the comments and be like, no, you're wrong. But I just think that that's what this franchise needs. The best stuff in this movie is the emotional stuff. The fact that he doesn't beat
Yeah,
Death at the end. He doesn't win. He just earns the respect, and Death's like, yeah, you've changed. You're no longer that piece of crap at the beginning of the movie who's this arrogant prick. You've now changed. Like, that's good shit. Like I say, the
yeah.
panic attack scene is so good.
I
There's just nothing is that good in Pinocchio. I'm sorry.
I
It's just not
I
as good.
think I think if they're smart, and what I would do is I would have it be like almost like a contrasting thing where like Shrek, the Shrek part of it is the cynicism, like side, and Puss in Boots comes in and he's now that different character that we've seen him evolve
That
into
would be kind of
from
fun.
this last one, and have him come in and kind of be the like the soft like the reasonable force, the one that's like, okay, Shrek, I see your point of view, but and
That
he's
would be
now
kind of
like
fun.
the kind of wise mentor kind of
We
role.
it's to wrap this up. We grown and we went, oh my god, a donkey movie. What is that gonna be? Um, but after rewatching this for this, I went, you know what? Give it to this team. Do it in this animation style. Give it a bit of edge, and it can be good.
Yeah, it depends on how they do it.
They gotta make it good. But if it's half as good as this is, like this was, the number one thing about it is a genuine surprise. It's not a Netflix original. It's not. That has been my thing this whole week. It's not a Netflix original, but it is on Netflix, at least as of right now. It's on Canadian Netflix. If you have not seen this movie, you are doing yourself a disservice. I know that Shrek stank maybe might dissuade people, but it is truly a unexpected surprise of a movie. It is really, again, I love Shrek 1, but it's my second favorite. Maybe, I don't know. I think I like it more than Shrek 1. Like, I know that's maybe a bold statement, but yeah, unexpected
I
surprise.
I think
Unexpected surprise.
it's hard for me to compare this against any of the other Shrek movies because it's just so not Shrek. It's so different. And that could be seen, if you're comparing it to Shrek, that could be seen as a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it makes it
I don't know.
stronger.
I don't know. Here's my final question before we move on to Jordan's second half scene. What do you like? If you are a fan of the Shrek franchise, why do you like Shrek? And I think at the end of this is where we're going to end, and it's going to cut to end card Justin. And he's going to ask you the same question. What do you like about Shrek? Let me know your thoughts, because I'm curious. I'm curious what people like about Shrek. I know what I like about Shrek, and it's that cynicism. Jordan, what do you like about Shrek?
About classic Shrek, I mean, yeah, the cynicism, the cracking fun at things that were tropes at the time,
Yeah,
that sort of thing. But that's not what I like about
Puss in Boots movie.
Puss in
Yeah,
Boots
it's that
movie.
heart. It's that like
I like the heart
I
and the
love the heart and
depth.
then the depth. The depth. Yeah, that's where I'm like go back to Orion and the dark. You can have a bit of darkness and a bit of edge and a bit of, hey, yeah, panic attacks and anxiety and dealing with the concept of death and the passage of time and how do you reconcile with that. Those are lessons that are important to teach kids. In my opinion, lessons that are
Yeah,
not more important than math, but certainly as important. And we can tell them, and we can make it a bit scary, and we can have a bit of darkness, but still have Perito and levity
and
and a
that's where I
character that you
think
can love and
in this
hold and
next
hug.
Shrek movie, it would be a good dynamic to have it be where, yeah, Puss in Boots is the anxiety ridden war veteran, and Shrek is the parent who knows
I don't
how to
know.
be there.
I want a scene where it's Shrek and Perito, and Perito puts his head on Shrek's chest.
See, I want a scene
I want that.
where
I don't know why I want it.
Puss in Boots is like freaking the fuck out, and Shrek just walks up and just starts petting him on the head and is like, "It's okay, it's
That
okay."
would also be fun. That would also be fun. Anyway,
And
anyway, anyway.
have it be where like because he's been a parent all this time, he's learned how to be
I mean, it would
caring
be
and
kind
be
of fun.
there.
I know we keep saying that Shrek 5 is obviously going to be Shrek is a bad dad, but like, I'm also equally like wanting of the opposite, where Shrek is just a really good dad and it's a Fiona is a bad mom
Oh,
movie.
I want it
I
to
mean,
be
it'd be
a
kind of fun.
Shrek is a good dad and his kid just doesn't appreciate it and fucking Puss in Boots comes along and points out all the things that make him a good dad.
That'd also be fun. I would kind of want. No, Shrek is actually an amazing dad, but it's gonna be Shrek is a bad dad. Anyway,
He's better than my dad was. My dad blah 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 blah
my
blah
dad
blah,
left me in a
right?
swamp. Anyway, that is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Seriously,
So,
go watch it. It's really good.
my second have seen is Netflix original, although from the sounds of it it wasn't always going to be. But it Enola Holmes is what I watched. It's based on the first novel of the Enola Holmes mysteries series, which came out
I
in
saw a clip of it.
2006.
It was like, oh, this movie is. So is Sherlock Holmes the bad guy?
No.
Because
Technically, I would say that Micah is.
interesting. Just because that the one scene I saw where it was like them having him and Mycroft having lunch. He's like, "We're gonna get that girl if it's the last thing that we do." It just kind of painted them as the bad guys in the movie, which I thought was funny.
We'll get there. But yeah, it's based off of the stories. There's 9 books apparently, which
Really?
came out between 2006 and 2023.
So my question is I know I asked this to you before, but is she a character in the original stories?
From what I was reading, no, she was created for those stories
Specifically
specifically.
for those books. Oh, so it's like, oh, Sherlock Holmes has a secret younger sister who's resentful of the fact that she's Sherlock Holmes' younger sister.
I mean, in those stories, she's not so much a secret, but sure. Um, a difference between those books and this movie, though, is in the book she's 14, whereas in these books she's 16.
So here's my question, because we're gonna both gonna end up talking about Millie Bobby Brown, and this question popped up when I was watching The Electric State, and it was, is she a good actress?
I think she's good at one particular kind of role.
To be fair, in mine she was trying to do a really horrendous American accent, so it was kind of hard to gauge. But in this,
She's just she's just
I
British
was
in
gonna
this
say, this
one.
she gets to be British. She needs to do something that's not on Netflix. Like, I know that Netflix
That's
is a
kind of the
safe space for her, but like,
Oh, and I don't even think it's so much that it's a safe space. I'm pretty sure she has a contract with them for a certain set amount of time.
she said it was a safe space. Those were her words, not mine.
Ah,
Um, but because this just
to
on
be fair,
appearance,
this wasn't going to be on Netflix.
but
Um,
it's just got such
this
a straight to Netflix vibe to it. That's the one thing I remember from all the promotion for it.
See, what's funny is this was originally going to be a theatrical release.
I know.
Um,
It just have that
this was
vibe.
planned for theatrical release by Warner Brothers, but then COVID hit and Netflix bought the right to the movie.
Right. Yeah, that happened a lot. Um,
Um,
Because yeah,
I don't,
this just
I
looked
don't,
like such a nothing. The funniest thing about this movie is the fact that you watched it just unprompted for some reason. You came home with, are you watching
I liked
Enola
it.
Holmes?
I like so that's where it's funny because I like Sherlock Holmes stuff.
I think you're like the only one who liked this movie. I'm pretty sure it was poorly received.
Let's find out.
Pretty sure it was poorly received.
Lawsuit, music, release, audience viewership, critical response. There it is.
I'm gonna guess a solid
Uh,
40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
on Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 91%,
Really, it was positively reviewed. Oh, all
based
right
on
then.
207 reviews, with an average rating of 7.1 out of 10.
I stand corrected.
Website's critics consensus reads, Nola Holmes brings a breath of fresh air to Baker Street and leaves plenty of room for Millie Bobby Brown to put her effervescent stamp on a franchise in waiting. I mean, it must have done well because it got a sequel.
This is true.
Um, I enjoy this movie, and what's funny is when I first watched this movie,
Did you solve the
in
mystery?
no,
No.
um, I don't know, I don't remember. But the first time I watched this movie, this was sort of like I was at the peak of hating Henry Cavill because of
Yeah.
Superman.
He's pretty fun in this
Um,
from what I've heard.
and yeah, I like him in this. I think he does a very adequate job as Sherlock Holmes. Um, and as for who the villain is, it depends on your point of view. There's a
Anakin.
few. There's no, the Jedi. Um, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. There's a few different because there's a few different aspects to it. In terms of Enola, Mycroft, whatever the character's name is,
Mycroft.
the old Mycroft would technically be because she's his ward, and he wants to send her to ship her off to basically like a female boarding school where she'll learn to be a proper woman.
Gotcha, gotcha. Good old 15th century, whatever.
Yeah,
Victorian
16th
era
century,
sexism.
whatever, yeah, sexism. And so, in that regard, Sherlock is kind of a bad guy, only insofar of the fact that he's not her ward, or she's not his ward. So, like, he's trying to find her for Mycroft.
He's doing a big old Sherlock Holmes, but instead he's trying to beat the Child Protective CPS, Child Protective Services.
Basically, yeah, where he's trying to find her because she's a 16-year-old girl who has run away from home and is living on her own
From
because she's
Victorian
trying
era.
because she's trying to find their mother, who is played by Helena Bella. Well, I can't.
Helena Bonham Carter.
That's it. Thank you. Um, and then there's also the uh, teenage boy guy that
Teenage
Enola
boy
runs
guy.
into.
Like the world's
That
shittiest superhero. I'm teenage boy guy.
Enola runs into and saves on a train and ends up
I
like getting
casually walk down the street. Teenage boy guy away.
she ends up liking him. He's played by Lewis Partridge, I believe, Tewksbury.
You're not signing off on
Where
teenage boy guy.
yes, he's a teenage and he's a boy and he's a guy.
Teenage boy guy.
Where his people want him dead because like his dad died, so then he was going to be in the Senate or the voting people place.
The bad guy is the sexy boy.
And no, he's good, but people want him dead because he could potentially vote in a way that they don't like.
Oh. I understand.
And you end up finding, spoiler alert, that it's his grandmother. Grandmother? I think it's his
She
grandmother.
did the murder.
She hired people to do the murder.
Oh.
And then
she did the murder.
And then proceeds to shoot him, but then he ends up living, and then yeah, he's like, I'd like to know you for more, to Bobby Brown, Enola Holmes, and she's like, sorry, but no, and then that's basically how it ends. And I like this movie, but to be fair, I enjoy a good Sherlock Holmes story.
Loving a good Sherlock Holmes story.
And this kind of just checks all the boxes for me. It's simple enough that I can follow along with it and not get lost.
I mean, everyone wants a good box checker.
The characters are fun enough that I'm not bored. And I think the actors and actresses do a likable enough job portraying the characters. So like, do I think that Millie Bobby Brown is a bad actress? I don't think she's a great actress, but I don't think she's the worst actress. Like, she's not in this, for example, she's not just 11.
Oh yeah.
So like, she's capable of being a different character.
I was gonna say, I will give her credit. Yeah, she's never been the yeah, she's always just 11.
No, but she always. How do I word this?
She reminds me of Emma Watson. That's
I can see why you would say that. What I was gonna say is, in the roles that I've seen her in, it's not that she plays the same character necessarily, but she shines through.
Yeah,
like herself, her own.
My thing
character
is like her performance is always super flat, but like
that's where I say that's because that's her. Like, that's her shining through. That's her herself, not acting, shining through.
Yeah, but I mean, she always comes across as quite funny and likable in interviews and stuff, and it just never conveys in her performances. This is my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I like her in this
She's like
one.
the kind of
I
teenage actress. Like, I want to be taken seriously. Like, I
I
think
don't
Finn
remember.
Wolfhard.
I
Sorry, go
don't
ahead.
remember really liking the second one as much, but I remember. Yeah, this one I liked. Sorry, Finn Wolfhard.
Oh, I was gonna say my favorite of the Stranger Things cast is him and Gate Matazzaro. I love Gate Matazzaro, but he's the one with
The funny
the
teeth.
funny teeth. Yeah, he's funny. But I think of the Stranger Things kids, my favorite is Finn Wolfhard, because Finn Wolfhard, when he shows up and stuff, he knows he's Finn Wolfhard and he's fine with that.
Yeah. Is there anything else interesting about this movie? Apparently, the Conan Doyle estate filed a lawsuit against Netflix over it,
I mean, that's fair.
claiming it violated copyright by depicting Sherlock Holmes as having emotions.
Huh? Isn't
They,
Sherlock
they
Holmes royalty free?
uh, I guess hold on. They argued this aspect of the character did not fall under the public domain, as he was only described as having emotions in stories published between 1923 and 1927, and the copyright for the
All
stories
right.
published in that period still had not expired under copyright law.
All right. Okay, that feels tenuous at best. Jordan, is that
Apparently, apparently Cavill said that his Sherlock was a lot more emotional to begin with, so they basically had to pull it back and make it not too emotional.
all right then?
So he was more emotional than the version we saw in the final movie, and they had to turn him into more of a robot because of that lawsuit. That's funny. That's funny how stupid American copyright is. That's it for Enola Holmes.
Um.
It is a Netflix original. It is on, I would assume, every Netflix if it's a Netflix original. So feel free to go check it out.
All right. I just might. I just might one day.
I, I was talking to the audience, Justin, not you.
I might.
God.
So Jordan, my next movie, for my next one, it is also not a Netflix original, and we have to go back. We have to go all the way back, Jordan, to 1980. I was gonna say four, and then I wasn't confident. 1985, the back in the time years of 1985, and we have to talk about Jordan, the brain, the athlete, the basket case, a princess, and a criminal. Jordan, we have to talk about the Breakfast Club. Don't you forget
Forget
about
about
it. Fun fact, you know that's where that song comes from? Is that movie? The movie's from that song? The song's from
Yeah,
that
he,
movie?
he holds the boombox up.
No, it's a different movie. This one is he walks away and he goes,
Oh yeah, the thumbs up.
yeah. It's
Or the
the fist,
yeah.
the fist. So
I don't think I've ever watched this one.
you've absolutely watched this one because I made you watch
Have
it
I?
before. Yeah. I've made you watch it.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
it is, in my opinion, it's for those of you who have never
I don't remember
heard
watching
or
it.
unfamiliar of the Breakfast Club, it's
For those of you who haven't heard of or don't know of the Breakfast Club, get a clue. It's a
one of the most
iconic
iconic
movie,
movies of all time.
and you should and you need to go and educate yourself.
One of the most iconic coming of age movies of all time. But it's five.
I would argue the most
the
iconic.
the teenage coming of age movie. But it's five kids are all, in what my opinion is. See, what's funny is I remember in high school them threatening you with Saturday detention, but finding out years later that they can't do that. It's illegal. Like they can't have you. They are only allowed to have you in school for the period of time. But to be fair, this is an American movie. We're in Canada, so it just might be different. But in Canada, I remember finding out years later that they can't actually keep you on Saturday for school. It's like against some sort of
They
law.
also can't keep you past a certain
They
time.
can't keep you past a certain time. Yeah. But in this movie, there's a bunch of kids.
And no, that must be also an American thing, because I remember in I think it's Mean Girls, where the principal is like, "I will keep you all night if I have to," and one of the teachers being like, "We can't keep them past 5:30. I will keep you here till 5:30 if I have to."
Yeah. So but maybe again in 1985, maybe things were just different in the 80s. But
That I could
the
believe.
basic premise of this is the tyrannical teacher principal he's keeping all of these students in detention who are all being kept there for one reason or another, and they all fit a certain stereotype. The one, Molly Ringwald, the redhead, she's the popular girl. The Emilio Estevez is, well, I didn't recognize him. He's so young, but he is the jock. He's on the wrestling team. John Bender is the criminal hooligan stoner burnout guy. The one guy whose name is escaping me, he's the like academic. And then there's the girl from Short Circuit. She's the kind of like a neurotic basket case girl who just says stuff to get a rise out of people. You find out later in the movie that she is there because her parents ignore her and she has nothing better to do. So in order to have friends, she hangs out in Saturday detention with the other losers. And there's not much to it. That's kind of it. It doesn't really have much of a plot or a story. Not a ton happens. It's the kind of movie where if you don't like really solid monologues and dialogues, like you could totally do this movie on stage, and you wouldn't have to change much. Like it wouldn't require that much staging because there's only like a couple of scenes where they leave the classroom, but for the most part, the movie is just single characters saying monologues. Good monologues, excellently performed monologues, incredibly performed monologues, but monologues. Like there's not a ton of action. It's really more of a really solid character piece. And I've asked this question before of what is it about John Hughes movies that Hollywood is just afraid to touch? Because like no one's ever tried to remake this. Like the thing about this movie that's so great and that makes it so good. I love this movie, by the way. I don't know if that's clear. I love The Breakfast Club. It's one of my all-time favorite movies because it's so timeless. Like one of the characters, you find out, spoiler alert, later on in the movie that he's in detention because he felt so much academic pressure around him that he brought a gun to school and was going to do something.
Ooh.
And that feels just as relevant as ever. The idea of popularity. Like there's nothing other than the fashion and maybe some of the language. It still feels as contemporary and as relevant as ever. And anyone can be a brain. Anyone can be a basket case. Anyone can be, a jock or whatever. I can't believe why have we never remade this movie? Like why have we never taken another shot at doing a modern version of it? And I've had this thought before. No one's ever tried to remake John Hughes. Like I've had the same thought about Weird Science. Like how has nobody tried to? Why was there not like a mid 2000s shitty like remake of Weird Science that was R-rated? Like how does that not exist?
Maybe because it might be just one of those ones where people are like it's too classic, it's too
so reverent. Yeah, but that's never stopped Hollywood before. I don't think at least in this day and age there's anything that's too reverent. Maybe there is. I don't know, but like I'm like, how come no one's ever tried to remake Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Like there's all these John Hughes movies that no one's ever remade. I'm like, I cannot believe there's not a mid-2000s version of this that's weepy and melodramatic. Like, we could remake this today and it could be equally as relevant.
What I'm hearing is #challenge extended.
I don't know why. I would love to do this as a stage play. Like, there's been a few times where, like, I had the same thought about Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, where I'd like to do a contemporary version of this on stage. Because I think you could. Because it's mostly a single-room movie. Most of it takes place in the detention room. And it's literally just conversations amongst characters. It really reminded me of, like, 12 Angry Men, where it's, like, it's just a one room, and 12 Angry Men is a play. It's a one-room play. And what's interesting is they did
I wouldn't be surprised if there were some high schools that have done it as a school play.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be shocked.
You could totally adapt this into a play, like a really good one. But they did, and interestingly, apparently John Hughes died in 2009, and before he died, he was in the process of beginning to make a sequel to this, where it would have been they all meet up again and call. But the one hit for me is you don't really get detention in college, but they would have been in detention in college, and they all basically would have like flipped personalities. because the whole point of this movie is like we're all the every version of whatever. So the idea would have been that over time they all kind of changed and swapped personalities. And I was like, that actually does sound interesting. Like as a concept, I'm like, yeah, I'd be interesting to see. Okay, yeah, where is John Bender? Is he still the same asshole that he, is he the same guy?
If I did a sequel, I would. College is one way, but I would do it where they're like they are still friends, but they all have jobs, but they're like the jobs that they ended up at are like in complete contrast to the personalities they had in that first movie, and do kind of the same thing, where they've all changed now and they're different, and do it differently.
I would do it where they were adults, where they're adults now.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
jobs.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, at jobs, not jobs, whatever. But I just mean like, yeah, they. Well, no. See, the thing for that works.
Either that, or I would have. I don't remember the movie well enough to say exactly the character, but whichever character was the most rebellious, I would then have it be where it's a pseudo sequel where he's now the principal at this school, and it's a new generation of the Breakfast Club.
That's a way to like redo it. That would be bring. I think Judd Nelson is still alive. Let's see if Judd. I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Bring back one of them or two of them, or however many.
John Bender would be the most interesting.
However many of them you can bring back to do cameo roles.
He is. He's 65 years old. So yeah, you could totally bring back Judd Nelson and have him be principal.
The old principal.
That would be kind of fun. But no, if I were to do a sequel to this, I would do it like where it's like they're all adults and they all get stuck in like, I don't know, maybe traffic school or like some sort of court mandated
like
they have to be their thing, and they're all like, holy shit, we haven't seen each other in 30 years or whatever.
Anger management or something.
And it's about seeing where they've come. The other final interesting thing about the Breakfast Club was it came out in 1985. I kept saying, why do I recognize the name Judd Nelson? Why do I recognize that name? Because I know why I know Molly Ringwald. She's Archie's mom in Riverdale. That's Molly Ringwald.
Oh, okay, interesting. I recognize the name because of obviously Ready Player One. They talk about all sorts of John Cusacks, but
Amelia Estevez is the coach in the Mighty Ducks. But the reason why I kept going, why do I know Judd? So I googled it. Judd Nelson is Rodimus Prime in Transformers.
Oh shit! Wow. Okay, small world.
Yeah, and so this came out in 85. Transformers came out in 86. So he was probably doing Transformers either after this movie or like while he was doing this movie.
Near the tail end of this movie.
Because obviously animation takes years, so
yeah,
he probably would have recorded it over the span of a while. So yeah. So that's what that's the Judd Nelson age, where he was when he did Transformers. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, that's The Breakfast Club. Iconic piece of cinema. Every person should watch The Breakfast Club at least once in their life, because it is a standout film. But be forewarned, it's not super action heavy. They do a bit of wandering around the school. They do get to some shenanigans, but it really is like a one room movie. Yeah, watch The Breakfast Club. Iconic piece of cinema.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to have not seens, but real quick, how many movies do I have on my list for you? Are you able to quickly while I before, because I'm thinking of tossing this one on there, depending on how many I have.
I mean 2. But
I only have 2 on there.
What do you mean 2? Oh, on your list.
My list for one for that you have to watch.
Oh, sorry. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5.
Okay.
So you're
throw a family pack on there.
Family pack.
I'm gonna talk about this in general terms, but
screw it.
Screw it. I'm gonna make you watch this one.
I'm putting. What was the dog one? I said fixed. I'm putting fixed on there. The problem with doing these Netflix ones is it means that it's gonna push this episode to a few months from now, so it's not quite so close to this. But
so family pack. Cold Notes version without getting into all the spoilers. So interesting thing is that I found as I watched it is it's actually a movie which was originally made in French.
So just real quick on your list, I'm guessing you said La La Land because I have La La musicals. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's La La
Yeah,
Land.
La Land is
Sorry.
what it was.
Yeah, you said this was in French and you watched the English
Um,
dub, which I couldn't do. That would be
so
torturous.
well, you're gonna do it.
Oh no,
What's
I'll probably watch
funny?
it in French.
Fair enough.
We'll
What's
see.
funny about it is it there's there's only one actor in it that I recognized. And so the main guy's dad, who's an older guy, he's played by what can I think of that you've seen? You know the Da Vinci Code?
Yes,
You know the FBI, the Bull?
it's been too long. No.
He's also in Pink Panther.
Oh, yes, I do know him. Oh my God, he's an iconic French actor. He's also in Godzilla.
Hold on, maybe if I tell you his actual name, it'll mean something.
Bijou Fash.
Yeah, Bezu Fash is who he
Oh,
is.
I know his name.
Um,
I know it. If you said it to me, I would know who it was.
Jean Reno.
Yeah, John Reno. Yes. He's in. Yeah, he's technically in. Yeah, he's in Godzilla, the Matthew Broderick version. He's got one of my favorite lines. "We are Americans."
Huh. But yeah, he's in this movie.
He's great. I love him. He's always funny. He's funny in Pink
he's
Panther. I was
so
gonna watch Pink Panther
yeah,
for this.
this movie. Okay, so uh,
But yeah, it's quite
the
well known.
reason why I think you'll enjoy this movie is because you enjoy Jumanji, and this is kind of just
I
a
do enjoy Jumanji.
similar thought process where
How on a
um,
scale of 1 to 10 Manjis? How many Manjis?
I mean, I don't know what we're doing here, but 8, I guess.
Solid 8 Manji. All right. Okay.
Um, so it's based. This movie is based off of a French card game, which
But
I'm guessing is why it's then made in French, which is called The Werewolves of Miller's Hollow.
huh.
Um, so it's based off of a game in which you can go and look up what the game actually is at some later point. But so I didn't read about the game until after I watched the movie, but from what I've read of the game, yeah, it seems like the movie is pretty accurate
So,
up to what the game is
so
about and
is
is
this like a French version of like Clue?
kind of. It's more like a French version of the closest comparison that I can think of is uh somewhat similar to Secret Hitler or like the werewolf one that
Oh,
used
so
to
okay. So it's like it is what it
kind
sounds
of
like. It's Ultimate Werewolf,
kind of. So here
which makes
I'll read
sense.
you I'll read you a little bit about the actual card game. Well, the Werewolves of Miller Hollow. Da, 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 da. It can be played with 8 to 47 players.
Wait, 8 to
Um,
47?
8 to 47
That's a lot
players.
of players.
The game is based on the Russian game Mafia. Um,
Yeah, it's a trader
uh,
game.
Gameplay games. Before the game starts, a player will be designated as the game master. That person then randomly gives each player a card, after which each player secretly discovers their identity by looking at the card.
Yeah, it's a trader.
All
It's a
play
trader mechanic.
all players are divided into two teams: the townsfolk, some of which have special roles, and the werewolves. And basically, townsfolk have to discover and eliminate the werewolves, while the werewolves try to stay undiscovered and eliminate the
And if they
people.
get out of it
And
undiscovered, they win.
there's a day and night cycle,
Yep.
yada yada yada. There's a
It's one
bunch of
night
different
Ultimate
rules.
Werewolf. That's what it is.
Basically. Um, but so watching this movie was funny because yeah, I watched it in an English dub, and it wasn't as
Wait, so it's one night
distracting.
Ultimate Werewolf, but it's Jumanji?
Kind of, yeah, where
How does that
basically
work?
the dad, I don't want to give away the whole plot, but the one character wants to play it, the rest of them don't, and then they wake up and they're in this place.
Oh, it's funny.
But it's also confusing, and I'm tempted on whether I want to. No, I won't because I want to see what you have to say. But there's an aspect of it which makes it confusing, which makes me go like,
Oh,
are they
sorry, Jordan. Chloe, okay? Chloe, you okay?
what happened?
It seems like she's having trouble. Chloe, hey, you okay? She's making some coughing noises that are concerning. Come here. She seems to be having trouble here. Hold on, Jordan. Hold on. Hold that thought. Come on, Chloe. Come on. You okay? You choking?
Sorry.
You okay? You okay? It's okay. You okay? Come on. You okay? Come on. Come on. Come on out. Come on. You okay? Okay. Freaking me out there, dog. Okay. I don't know. She's making some hawking noises. Okay, sorry. You were saying.
There's aspects of it which make it confusing, and it might just be that I missed the subtitles where they explain it, but where it's like I couldn't figure out if they were in the game or if the game was based on.
Sorry. I am listening. Chloe, come here. Come here.
Or if the game was based off of true events that they got teleported into. Like I can't figure out which is the.
Hold on.
So that's where I'll let you watch it, and I'll let you help me decipher that. But overall, it's a fun movie, and I enjoyed it. And the subtitles and it being in French and stuff, or them speaking with dub rather, and the lips not matching up, wasn't terribly distracting for me for the most part, because the voice, I wonder, and I don't know how I would even begin to look this up, but I can't help but wonder if the people that are doing the dubs are them, if that makes any sense. Like you know how with Jackie Chan, how he dubs himself in some things. I don't know if maybe they dub themselves in this, and that's why it's less distracting.
Maybe.
But it wasn't. I didn't find that it pulled me out of it.
Huh.
Except for the only times when it did was when there's a couple points in the movie where they sing, and they sing in French.
Ah, interesting. That's interesting.
But because obviously, like even if you watch a Disney movie that's originally in English and you watch it in like Spanish and they talk in Spanish for most of the movie, most of those movies, the songs are all in English. It's the same thing here, where even though all the dialogue, so it's like they'll be singing in French, and then one of the characters, like one of the other characters, will say something in English, and like be like, wow, like what's he what like what like he's a good singer or something like that in English, and like
I've had that before.
It's weird, but it's not terrible. But yeah, that's Family Pack. I liked it.
That was like when I was watching Squid Games, and I was watching the dub. Don't judge me. I was watching the dub for Squid Games, and their characters that show up in I haven't watched all of it, but they're characters who show up in the first season of that show who speak English in the actual show. So the audio track is different between what is the dub and what's clearly filmed in studio, and it just sounds weird. Puts off your ear. It sounds weird.
I will say though, and this isn't a complaint against this movie in particular. This is more a complaint against Netflix and the way that they sort things. When I picked this to watch for the show, had no idea that this was French.
Yeah.
Like, there was no way. Like, the poster that they show says Family Pack. It's in English. There's nothing that I saw that really identified that I was going to be watching a thing that was dubbed.
Until you're like, wait a minute.
Until I watched it, and I'm like, the lips don't quite match up.
Wait a second.
But because it's not, like, an obvious thing, like a Japanese show where they would obviously be speaking in Japanese, but they're not. Like, this, you know what I mean? Like, it made it hard to decipher at first.
Yeah.
So That's my one thing, and that's again not a complaint against the movie. That's a complaint against Netflix. List your shit better.
Right? Right?
Apparently, yeah, most of the filming took place in Prague. Also, interestingly enough, the medieval set and stuff that they used for this movie was originally created for the television series Nightfall.
Oh, all right then.
So they used a different show's set for this movie.
All right then. All right then.
That's Family Pack.
Which one should we? Which one should we do first? Let's do K-pop Demon. No, we'll do K-pop Demon Hunters last because then it will be easier to cut out. So my next one is we talk about Millie Bobby Brown. Yeah, this was the one that made me go, is she a good actress or is she a bad actress? And that was The Electric State, which
That was fun.
it was all right.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
fine.
okay.
I remember watching that one. It's okay.
There are some leaps in logic in there where you're like, wait, what? And
Yeah, but Justin,
Chris
you
Pratt.
have Mr. Peanut as a robot.
you have Mr. Peanut kind of, even though he looks nothing like Mr. Peanut. By the way, if you're gonna use an iconic character, get the license to have the character look like the character properly. Otherwise, it's weird. Yeah, Woody Harrelson as Mr. Peanut was very strange. Yeah, so this takes place in an alternate 1990 where there are robots who
Robots.
have gained sentience and they want to be treated with the same rights as humans, but the humans don't want to give them rights. So there's this really long scene at the beginning of the movie that explains all of this. That was a real info dump that my eyes completely glazed over. So I kind of only half got it. So John, I'm counting on you to help me fill in any blanks I missed.
I mean, I'll try, but
So there's a war between the humans and the robots, led by Mr. Peanut, and the humans, led by,
Evil McEverson.
Stanley Tucci, create a bunch of exosuits which let them fight the robots, and the robots and the people sign a treaty so that the robots have to live in this special zone, but they're allowed to be called a people, and the humans are not allowed to go there. But Millie Bobby Brown has a brother who you meet at the beginning of the movie, and then it hard cuts to like 4 years later, and she's now living in a foster home with Jason Alexander, who is running her life via exoskeleton, but she won't use the exoskeletons or wear the helmet, and it's kind of like a shittier version of Ready Player One, and the Oasis, and then a robot that's
it's like the Oasis, except for instead of being in a virtual paradise, they still exist in the same shitty reality we currently do, but now they can be robot people.
They could be robot people, and they could be distracted by a simulation that they want. Stanley Tucci, for example, has a simulation where his mother actually gives a shit about him instead of being an alcoholic. And a robot shows up, and it seems to be the soul or spirit of her brother, who she thought was dead, and they meet Chris Pratt, who was wearing a horrendous wig. It was a really bad wig. It was an immediately noticeable and terrible wig.
It's not that bad.
And a wig so bad that they get rid of it later, and it's just his regular hair.
He's not wearing a wig. What are you talking about? He actually grew his hair that long.
No, I googled it. It's a wig.
No, he definitely grew his hair.
He's got a little robot sidekick voiced by Anthony Mackie, and they go find Ki Kwan Quang. I'm totally sure I pronounced that wrong. Who reveals that the brother, who was so smart that when he got into that car crash, they kept him alive in a coma, and all of the robots and also the virtual reality all runs on the brain of this one kid. It's all connected to this one kid, Millie Bobby Brown's brother.
No, from what I remember, the robots aren't connected to him, but the like all of the things that the humans can control, the androids and stuff that the humans control, like the I don't know what you call it.
The bots.
They run off of it, but not the Mr. Peanut and
the drones. The drones they all run off
the drones and stuff. Yeah.
And if they remove him from it, he'll die, but all of the drones will also die, and the entire company and the entire basic infrastructure of the entire planet will collapse in one fell swoop. And I'm like, and he keeps this kid in a, not in a like a bunker or like hidden away, but in like a really open room that anyone can just kind of walk in and see that this is a thing that's happening. Even though like the movie makes it explicitly clear that this is very illegal and definitely a crime, it just seems like every one of his employees knows about it. Like all of them.
I mean, yeah, they're all complicit. They know.
It's
they know.
very strange. It's very weird. And yeah, the robots are confusing and weird. It seems to be kind of a pro AI movie in the sense that it's like, hey, not all the AI is bad. Sure, some of it's bad, but not all of it is bad. And yeah, most to everyone is not good in this. Chris Pratt's terrible. Millie Bobby Brown's not very good. Like I couldn't tell if it was the whatever the hell she was trying to do with her accent. All of it was flat. It was all so flat and boring and dull, and like it was like, oh, it's made by the Russo brothers. They directed the Avengers. Like they could do better than this. What is this crap? This is just such a nothing of a movie.
I mean, I thought it was perfectly 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It was fine. It was adequate. It's an adequate movie.
If I'm being generous.
If I'm being generous, it is.
Would you agree?
No, to me it's a solid 40%. But I
But if you were being generous.
If I was being generous, 50.
All right. I'll accept that.
It's just not like apparently fans of the book were really upset because they changed a bunch of shit.
It's based on a book?
Yeah, it's based on it's like a series. It's like a loose light picture novel where it's like a coffee table book with a bunch of images. It's got a bunch of iconic like images based on iconography. That's why Mr. Peanut's in it. Otherwise, it seems sort of random that he's the one character that is a recognizable character in a sea of otherwise unknown characters. But yeah, I think there's in the original book. There's other like well-known pieces of like mascots.
It just feels like I think part of why
the basic premise is the same, but
doesn't work for me is because, especially in this day and age, there are so many other, I'm going to call it post-apocalyptic worlds.
Yeah.
Which are more interesting. Like, to me, this feels like a less interesting version of The Wild Robot.
Yeah, like they just skipped over all of the shit that was interesting. So the war, the political parts of it, like for it to be a kind of a substandard, not very interesting road trip movie with Millie Bobby Brown doing a bad American accent. Like it's just
that's the thing with a lot of the movies that she's in is it's ultimately going to depend on how much you like Millie Bobby Brown because damn if she's not in it a lot, she's in it a lot.
Right.
So
right, yeah. If you don't like her or Chris Pratt, who a lot of people don't like Chris Pratt right now, it's not going to be for you.
Exactly.
It's not going to be for you.
Any final thoughts on that one?
No.
Okay. Well, with that, I think it's time that I talk about my final movie of this Netflix special for the week. I watched Chinese Aladdin. I mean, Wish Dragon.
Chinese Aladdin. It is Chinese Aladdin. I also talked about that movie before. That's all I recall saying about it.
I had quite a lot of fun with this one, actually, joking aside.
To a point. I mean, it doesn't really have a Jafar. Not really. Like, their version of Jafar, I don't know, maybe it's just he's not nearly as charismatic, but he's not really Jafar. He is, but he's not.
Well, his version of Jafar is like if you took Jafar and mixed him with the bad guy from the third one.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Where it's like he's not really Jafar. He's not smart enough to be Jafar.
No. It's a lot of it is just... I mean, it felt like the dad being the one behind it was supposed to
be a big twist.
Was supposed to be a bigger twist than it is, and it's just not really.
And then as for the Wish Dragon himself, now the Wish Dragon is like, imagine if you took Genie and combined him with Alex the Lion from Madagascar.
I would have said Mushu without the personality, but that works too.
No, no, he's way more like Alexander the Lion from Madagascar. Alex the Lion.
I can see why you would say that.
Just the way that he acts is very similar. And yeah, I guess maybe if you threw a little bit of Mushu in there too. But um that being said, the whole spoiler alert, the whole he ends up still being a wish dragon at the end and is then sent off to do more. Feels like they were leaving it open for a sequel that will never happen.
I don't know because
Um,
I think this did okay. Like I seem to recall it in
well,
China this did okay.
according to this, it had a budget of $25 million and it had a box office of 25.9 million. But I don't think it had a very long release in
No.
China. It
Um,
was released theatrically in China on January 15th, 2021, and on Netflix internationally on June 11th, 2021.
yeah, it might have done
So
okay in China.
wouldn't have been in theaters for very long is the point.
I
Um,
because China they love their basic cartoon animated shit. So this yeah has every reason to work well to perform well in
oh,
China.
interesting. So in an interview with Animation World Network in August 2025, it was revealed that Chris Applehans is writing a sequel to Wish Dragon.
Oh yeah. It doesn't surprise me.
Kind of does, but doesn't also. Um, I mean, it's a fairly safe movie. That's kind
Ah,
of
super safe, very
that's the
safe.
biggest thing that I can say to it.
It's very.
Um,
It's yeah. Let's say it's enough.
I had
I watched
I had
enough of the whims of. I
I had a
saw
great
clips of
time
it.
with it.
I saw clips of it on TikTok, and I went, "What is this?" And I looked it up, and I was like, "You know what? Why not?" And I had a pretty
I
good time.
Yeah, I had a
But
good
it's
time
hard
with
not
it.
to like an Aladdin story.
I do have a soft spot for a good Aladdin
I
story.
love a good Aladdin story. Good genie, three
Um,
wishes. Careful what you wish
but
for.
anyone who
There's some fun
has Netflix,
there's some fun wrinkles in there as well with the what is it, ostensibly the Jasmine Aladdin relationship. There's some fun wrinkles in there. There's some
yeah.
interesting cultural stuff that like I'm not from China so I don't really get this, but there's some fun that um
But yeah, no, definitely. If you have Netflix,
yeah,
check it out.
it's worth checking out. Jordan, that's it for the Wish Dragon.
Yeah, there's not my. This is a pretty bare bones story. It's if you've seen Aladdin, you've seen this one
Yeah, pretty much. Except for
with some peppering of flavor of different
it's
things.
got some slight. It's a bit different. Like there's a kind of a fun fight sequence at the end where they're fighting on top of the invisible dragon and the spoiler alert the fact that he's a king who has to earn his way into heaven like that's a fun twist. That's some fun twist.
Justin, it's China. He was an emperor.
Same difference.
No. Be culturally appropriate, Justin.
I will
He
culturally
was
appropriate.
he was an emperor
No, it's one of
from
those movies
the
where I was like,
from the Qing dynasty or
I was
something. I
like,
think he said.
I feel like if I had more of an appreciation for Chinese mythology, this would probably mean more to me. Speaking of that, Jordan, is that it for Wish Dragon?
That is it for the Wish of Dragon.
Final movie of the week. And the whole reason we did this episode, and I have to be honest, I entered this movie with the utmost cynicism. I was positive I was gonna be like, I can't stand this. I hate this. I was so sure I was gonna hate it, and that is K-pop Demon Hunters. Wildly successful, dethroned Red Notice as the most popular video on or popular movie on Netflix, the most viewed movie of all time on that streaming service. And I went in this being like, this movie's gonna be dumb. There's no way it's not. And I'm here to tell you, Jordan, real quick in the opening summary, that this movie is really fucking good. It's really good. I was genuinely surprised by how good it was.
I've only heard the name. What is it?
So basically, it's
Like in 5 words or less, describe it.
these three girls are part of a Korean J-pop band or a K-pop band, and they are also demon hunters. They hunt demons.
Okay, that makes sense. That fits with the name. That checks out.
It is a musical, so there's a bunch of songs, and they're all K-pop songs, and so This is a really good movie. It's very fun. It's very funny. It's very clever. The action sequences are good. They're well animated. It's got a lot of heart, and it's a very good movie. But there's an asterisk where if you really don't like K-pop, like the music I found to be kind of clever because like the 5-year-old girls who are gonna absolutely love this movie as they should. It's really good. There is probably gonna come across as moderately racist, but they're not gonna who don't know what Korean is. Like they've never heard Korean. It's written and it sounds like because they're demon hunters, like it's just magic spells. Like they're just saying magic spells, but then they're also stealth learning Korean. You know, when they listen to this music 100 times. And I just think that's kind of fun. That's kind of clever. But yeah, it's really eventually midway through the movie. Basically there's an evil demon king who, and this is one of those like maybe if I knew more Korean mythology, I would be more like not into this, but it would maybe some of this would maybe mean more. But there's an evil demon king who tricks people into becoming demons by preying on their like biggest
love for K-pop,
biggest insecurity, basically. And so every generation there is a 3-person team of girls who sing and fight demons. And so the modern iteration of it is a K-pop band, and they are about to sing their final song basically of their world tour, and this will seal there's a name for it, but it's basically a magic spell that will banish all of the demons from Earth. And the Demon King obviously wants to stop this, and so one of his demons is a singer, so he suggests a kind of if you can't beat him, join him approach. So they form a boy K-pop band, a rival K-pop band, and there's like a romance between her and him, and you find out he's got a tragic backstory where he was poor and he made a deal with the Demon King, and he went to the palace and became a famous singer, and his family died poor and alone, and he abandoned them. And so he preyed on this insecurity, whatever, this weakness for centuries in order to get him to do whatever he wants to do. And so they use the evil boy band to try and steal people's souls. And the music, there's a couple of really solid duets, and the music is really good, and the animation is really good. I was genuinely surprised. Like I went this again completely full of cynicism, ready to be like, oh, I hate this. I hated every second of this. I can't recommend this. And it is, again, it's really good. I think you would like this. I would full bore recommend it to you.
Is it going on my list?
It wasn't initially, but the more I talk this out, yeah, I think it might. I think it might be. I might add it to your list because it's really good. It's there's some of the emotional stuff. It's about like accepting who you are. The big thing is the main lead singer. She is becoming a demon. In effect, she's half demon, half human. So all of the demons have they're like stripes all up and down their arms, and so she's got stripes, and she's been told her whole life to hide the stripes. And like the movie's about like learning to accept who you are and learning to accept or to trust the friends who surround you and that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of camaraderie. I appreciate animated movies that aren't just fart jokes and like yelling and screaming, that aren't just like the Emoji Movie, that are taking chances. This movie really reminded me of Across the Spider-Verse. It's that kind of creative. It's that kind of original.
Interesting. Does it end on a cliffhanger?
No.
Good, because then it's better than Across the Spider-Verse.
I don't think it does. But
if it doesn't end on a cliffhanger and then wait several years to come out with the second part.
Yeah, this is wildly popular. So there will at least be one more. I guarantee you there will be one more. Apparently, according to my friends, they're making one more and a TV show, and I will totally watch another one of these. Like this was surprising. I like being surprised. I like entering into something not expecting anything and being genuinely like the best thing for me when I'm watching a movie is when it, not that it passes the phone test, but like I'm on my phone and my attention is being pulled from my phone. and I'm engrossed, and then my phone goes down. Like that happened here, where I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is all right, and then like it pulled me like a good anime, like it pulled me away from my phone. I'm like, this is solid. I'd be interested to know how different because obviously it's about K-pop. There's obviously a South Korean dub. I think, because Ken Jeon is in it, Dr. Ken is in it as their beleaguered manager, but the cast is entirely Korean. So I'd be interested to know if the English cast also does the South Korean dub as well, because I assume there's a South Korean dub. I don't know what they speak in South Korea, but I'd be interested to know how different it is, or if it is indeed different.
Korean?
I don't know if they... No, because I watched a really funny stand-up video about this. Because, like, in China, they don't speak Chinese. They speak Mandarin or Cantonese. Or, in India, they speak Hindu or Punjabi. They don't just speak... So maybe they what is, like, the language actually called? We don't speak Canadian. We speak English. So...
Wow.
Someone tell me. But, yeah, it's on Netflix.
Educate us.
Me. It is worth checking out. The only thing that would preclude me from wholeheartedly recommending this is, like, if you really don't like K-pop. Some of the music is really K-poppy. Some of, like, it's really funny because it'll be in English, and then out of nowhere there's, like, an entire verse in Korean, and you're like, oh, right, yeah, this is K-pop.
I don't really do K-pop. Am I gonna hate it?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
You might be like, oh, I like this, but I didn't care for the music. It's hard, yeah. That's the only thing that makes it whole. The rest of it, it's genuinely funny, genuinely well animated, genuinely well written, genuinely well performed. The only thing I could be like is, yeah, if you don't like K-pop, like just really strongly don't like K-pop, then you would probably hate this. But if you're like, it's all right. Like I say, it's not like all the music's in Korean. Like, it's mostly in English. Like, there's a duet between the guy and the girl later on that's honestly, like, this is honestly quite good. Yeah, you all should check it out. It's on Netflix. All this stuff is on Netflix. I don't think there was a bad thing in the bunch this week. Oh, no, Pinocchio was kind of bad. But that's it for this week. That's it. That's the end. We made it to the end. Now for next week, we are going to do dinosaurs. It's big-time dinosaurs. And the only condition is it has to have a dinosaur in it. That's the condition.
What about dinosaur toys?
That's just as long as it's a dinosaur.
All right.
So gotta have a dinosaur in it, and it doesn't have to be about dinosaurs. Is my point. It just has to have a dinosaur in it.
I'll have to think on that one.
I already have at least 3 locked down in my brain. But that's next week. That's dinosaurs coming next week. In the meantime, Joe, where can the people find you?
On Mondays, I do Twitch, Seth Gore 187. I do Minecraft Mondays. On the weekends, I'm here with you, and that's where they can find me.
You can find me on TikTok. Over 100,000 likes on TikTok. Pretty sweet. You can find the show on TikTok at Spur of the Moment P. If you want to talk to us at all, you can email us at It's Justin's Business. We'd be taking all emails. You follow us on Discord. We're on the Discord. You can follow us there. We have new videos out coming out. How many days a week are the videos coming out?
Every single day.
Every single day there's something new popping up on this channel. We're working on new content all the time. Fresh, hot. We're delivering during the nom delicious content 7 days a week. Every single day that fresh content. Probably doing a K-pop Demon Hunters video. Definitely doing a Pinocchio video. That's all coming next week. It's slightly different than the regular show because there's edits in there. That's what makes it different. And it's much shorter. That's coming out. Jordan, if people want to see the last podcast, they can click on the left, just so you know. Or if they want to see a random video that YouTube thinks they're going to enjoy, they click the box on the right. Hit the subscribe button. Leave us a like. Leave us any amount of comments you want in the comment section. That's cool. That helps us out as well. And we will see you all next